has come back, and it is slower and nastier than ever before.
Older and crustier.
Older and crustier, just disgusting, just rotting from the inside out. Welcome back to Fuck It, We'll Do It Live. Yes, we're not dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages.
We're not dead.
We're not dead.
That's the best part about this. And we're kicking this off with a bang because we're back after two years.
How you been?
Ago.
It's been so long.
Land has been purchased. Life has been changing. Things have been crazy. What about you?
That's an understatement of the century.
Understatement of the century.
Yeah, I think I've lived 8 lives. Like, if I were a cat, I would have 13 lives because that's the kind of cat I would be.
Yeah, because you need them.
Because I need them, and also I have 3 lives left.
You would spend them all.
I've lived that much. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Earthquake.
Yeah.
I've lived that long in the last 2 years. We will not go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. I don't think you want to.
I don't want to, and you already know it. So
yeah, that's true. So anyways, today we're kicking off the new season 2 after 2 years.
2 for
with
2.
A bang is what I'm trying to spit out. This was Zach's pick for live albums of this season. To kick it off, we're doing Bad Omens, and they, to my surprise, not even a week ago, I found out they have a live album. So that's where I'm at right now.
Are you so jacked about that?
I was, and I am still jacked about that.
Love it.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing by any means, so don't worry. It's not a, wow, this was a colossal fucking disappointment.
I know. I recently got into them myself in the last year, probably. Like, some of their music came across my streaming services and things of that nature. I was like, all right, I like this. And then some of them hit hard. I was like, oh, these are cool. These are cool. And then we started talking about the podcast again, and I wanted to put our list together, and like the snowball just kept growing, and I was like, I wonder if they've got a live album. And to my surprise, they did. And I knew that I wanted this to be episode 1 because I knew you liked them.
Oh, yeah. And I think you underestimate the quantity at which I dig through the depths, the bowels of Spotify to find live albums, demos, singles on those extended plays, all kinds of deluxe editions that are like, oh, recorded as a bootleg in Germany and whatever else it might be.
Love those.
So you just stepped into my shoes for a second with regard to that, because I do that a lot. I do that recreationally. When I'm sitting on my lazy ass in the living room at night, I pull out my iPad and I start digging through, does No Doubt have a live album? Does,
they should.
Britney Spears have a live album? I mean, all of them, obviously. I've got a disgusting palette of taste. It's like when you take a blender and
go on.
It's like when you're like, I'm going to make a smoothie for breakfast, and you put in banana, put in some apple, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, the internet says I should add kale, and the internet says I should add peanut butter, and the internet says I should add broccoli, and oh, turmeric sounds nice. Why don't we dump some ginger in there? And then we blend it up, and it looks like a fucking disaster. That's what my live playlist looks like on Spotify, and I am not ashamed of it one bit. So, you digging through to find this one.
Well played.
Yes. I discovered Bad Omens from, I didn't write this down at all, but it's just off the cuff that I discovered them from periodically ending up in rental cars that have Sirius XM.
Yes.
And listening to Octane. Swear to God, every time they've been on Octane, and that's how I discovered them. Along with my wife. That's how she discovered them, too.
My wife.
Oh, very nice.
That's part of how I discovered them. And just with some of my autoplay taking on a different characteristic. As you know, last year I was doing a few live shows and took on some new music that I wouldn't regularly listen to. And then with the addition of those things to my playlist, like, it started to gravitate in. I was like, whoa, all right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. I like just... I'll let you kind of take the reins on all the background and stuff, because as to the 4 listeners we have now, one of which is my sister, probably, if she's listening, I'm gonna just reference her every single episode because I know she actually listens to this. So one of which is my sister.
Yes.
We determined when we were bringing this podcast back that Zach's strong suit is Googling and researching the band. I don't know what changed since I was a teeny bopper, if you will, back in the day, but I could give a rat's ass who's in these bands. I think I mentioned that during the Beartooth episode, which is when we ended on. I like music.
Is that what we ended on?
Yeah, Live from the Journey Below.
Holy shit.
And now here we are.
Man, season 1 fucking killed it.
I know. Yeah, it was good stuff. We had 6 pretty solid.
I couldn't remember what we ended on.
We had 6 pretty solid in your face, holy fuck episodes that were excellent, and we're gonna make this one longer, harder, slower, and nastier. So, anyways, tell me about Bad Omens because I don't know shit about this band in the great scheme of things.
So this is really cool. There's a few things that I pulled up that. Really, some of it resonated because we've experienced some of it, and then some of it I discovered today, of all things.
Oh, so it might not even be on the record.
It's not on the record.
For everybody listening to us, we also have the record.
And as it turns out, the way it's sold in terms of vinyl is live and unplugged. Did you listen to the unplugged album?
I didn't listen to the unplugged one yet. I was literally repeating this one over and over again.
It's great. And what's really funny is it seems to be a double album. So on some of the stores, it's listed as Bad Omens Live and Unplugged. So you get both.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I can't find jack shit about this album, where it was recorded, when it was recorded, any of that. I can't find any of that.
On this live
one that we're talking about right now.
I was going to ask you because
I was looking.
Because I'll save my comments for my turn, but that was the biggest thing I was going to ask you.
It was released in 2001. I think it was July 2001 is what is shown. And
you mean 2021?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, I'm like, I don't think. I bet you these guys weren't alive in 2001. Because I'm just getting older by the minute. So now some of the bands I like this are younger than me, or kind of close to my age, but not quite.
Yeah,
and that's fucking nauseating.
Love it.
So, anyways, recorded in 2021.
Recorded in 2021, and released. Like some of the vinyl versions were released last year, I believe.
Okay,
and I don't know whether it's. Like the digital was released in 2021 or some sort of combination of all of the above. But that was the date I got, and I can't find anything else on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I did, don't get me wrong, I tried to Google it too. So when Zac dropped to me that we wanted to come back with this album for bringing back Fuck It, We'll Do It Live, I was cleaning my car. The inside of my car. That was my first listen to this. Nice. So I had kind of a mental note to like Google that sort of thing, even though I know you do that. Because I was like, it's just irking me that I don't know what in the absolute shit where this was. You know, like I remember when we did Beartooth before we took a break. It was kind of like, well, you knew that they recorded this during COVID.
Yep.
That it was like a live stream and they turned it into an album. It was also part of like you're saying for this. It was also part of the album below. It was like an extended player, like a bonus CD. Not that those fucking certificates of a deposit exist anymore, but a bonus album, if you will.
Yeah, and so here's the thing: is I very much get a similar vibe from the live album compared to Live from the Journey Below by Beartooth. From listening to this, right? Very much the same feel, and because I can't find anything on it, leads me to believe that might be accurate. Sure, and I did see that Bad Omens, they do live streams also. So there's a very good chance that very similar to another live album we'll be covering later, either this season or next season, depending on where it falls in the track.
Sure.
That it may have been recorded live in a studio and then released, but on some tracks you can hear a crowd.
Yeah, I'll get to that. I've got some things to say.
You got some things. All right.
I've got some things to say because I just have some things to say later on. But
so get the shovel because we're about to dig some shit up
and bury this mofo. Not really. I don't want to bury it. I enjoyed it, but what was there? Is there anybody notable in this band? So like for example,
the singer. The singer is probably the most notable, and I did put the name there. Yes, I was like, I can't fucking remember his name.
See, this is why we're getting old, because we have an iPad now with the notes.
The iPad is what says.
Do you want me to
old?
zoom this in to 200%?
No, I don't. I just didn't read the damn notes after I put them there. So Bad Omens are from Richmond, Virginia, and they formed in 2015 by the vocalist and producer Noah Sebastian and guitarist Nicholas Ruffalo?
It's Ruffalo. Like
Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo?
Like, yeah, Mark Ruffalo?
Roof.
And
Vincent. Give it to you.
Vincent Require on bass.
Jesus
Christ. Don't mind my question marks at the end of I'm butchering these names. I apologize.
That's all right.
There's probably a very likely chance that they're listening to this too.
If they do listen to this, like I said, we're always up for having guests on this shit and stuff. So if we fuck your name up, come yell at us. We'll be ecstatic to be yelled
at. Open invitation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the singer was in another band when he left. Eventually, I can't remember what year. I think it was 2013 or roughly around there. With this grand scheme, this project in mind, that being Bad Omens, right?
Okay.
And then after those three started and originated the band, they were later joined by another guitarist and drummer, that being
Nick Folio, like Portfolio.
Producer Joaquim Jolly. This half of this episode is just going to be me pronouncing names badly, and drummer Nick Folio is what it looks like.
Yes,
yeah. And so
Nicholas Portfolio.
We are not your.
I really hope they listen to this.
Oh, this is going well. So the Death of Peace of Mind was released in 2022 and spawned the sleeper hit Just Pretend, which has become Bad Omen's biggest hit so far. And that's really the only thing I noted before getting into the album, because I've got much more on other topics as we go through the set list. So that's kind of, we can put the shovel down, it's dead and buried. Because this is where, rest in peace.
That's where we backgrounded the shit out of this bitch. Oh my god. So yeah, like I said, I don't follow bands and members of bands as closely as I guess I used to when I was a kid. And I know
I'm still a kid.
I know. I mean, I qualify as a child probably mentally. Maybe. No, physically now I'm just going to be slowly becoming a 50-year-old man and older. 50 and older, let's say. For right now. Give me some time. But I don't really follow those bands. So you said you didn't remember the lead singer's notable.
Yep.
What was the band again that he came from?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I don't remember. Okay. I just noted that he was in a band previously, and it sounded like they got some notable traction at some point, and then he decided to put it down and set his sights on Bad Omens.
Okay. That's a commendable thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, or I don't even commendable. Sure, maybe a risky thing, because if you get some traction, I'm assuming that. I mean, Bad Omens formed in 2015. But I'm assuming his band, even during that time, it's like this isn't like the 70s or 80s where you get a label, you get $1 billion to go crazy. It's like, if you get some traction, it's like, man, you better be kissing ass and
licking crack.
I almost said kissing ass and squeezing babies, and
what?
I don't know why.
You go to jail for that.
I don't have words.
Better
than shaking them, I guess.
I guess.
But anyways, if you got some traction nowadays in a band, where traction being let's say, I don't know, you're opening for more popular bands in this genre, like Starset or Papa Roach or who knows what.
I'll get to some of that too.
Yeah, once you get some of that traction, I would think that'd be a hard no for me, dog. to quit on that band and be like, oh, let's just dive into the deep end. I love
what's really funny about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
In terms of jumping back to where we started here on the episode, it might come to be one of those things where if it doesn't resonate with your being, you just probably shouldn't do it, and you should follow wherever the ether takes you.
That's true. I think that's probably true in a lot of parts of life, especially mine and your life in general. But
as I stare off into the camera.
But I will say, I know we'll we'll jump in slowly here to your analysis of this specific album, which is just called Live, right?
It's just called Live.
Yeah, and I have Spotify here somewhere.
It's just called Live, and also, I again, given some of the information I found earlier today, it's either Live or Live and Unplugged, and with being a compilation.
Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna have to look up the Unplugged album.
It's really good.
I liked that about Wage War. Hey, do a live album, dudes. Am I right or am I right?
Yeah.
But they did that Unplugged strip session, so I'm always looking for, I love that stuff. I mean, I really do. I love hard rock bands that take things to an acoustic level with a full band. Like I know Breaking Benjamin has done tours. Like, hey,
we saw them.
Maybe do a live album, guys. But yeah, we've seen, like you and I have seen them live doing
album.
acoustic, stuff. I love that acoustic with a full band, drummer and all.
Yep.
So I'll have to listen to that.
Ben did that. Wage War did that. Ironically enough, neither of them have a live album yet.
I know. I bet you if I'm putting bets down, if I'm putting bets down, Wage War will put out one before Breaking Benjamin does.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And that makes me sad. I'm going to tag all of them in this. I'm just going to go tag fucking crazy with this and see how that works. But I discovered Death of Peace of Mind when I was on a road trip down to see the Eclipse, actually, a couple weeks back. Which is like
really?
You were saying,
that recent?
That was that recent that I discovered that song. I knew Bad Omens existed. My wife liked them. Liked a couple of songs prior to that. Couldn't tell you which ones though.
Have you heard? It's what word am I looking for? An anagram? No, acronym. It's an acronym. VAN, VAN, Violence Against Nature.
I think
Bad Omens and Poppy.
Somewhere.
It's really I really enjoy it.
That might have been. I mean, I'm not kidding you when I say like the past couple times I've discovered new music has been accidentally when I'm in the presence of Octane on Sirius XM. And just for the record, just to get accurate statements on the record here, I don't have Sirius XM. So when I stumble upon it,
you listen to that shit on LimeWire or what?
I should. Just Google. Yeah, I'm using YouTube to video or whatever. Like downloading off of YouTube. That was my final.
The Napster streaming service.
What was your final straw with like downloading music to discover? Like, I mean, LimeWire killed everyone's computers. Do you ever use Kazaa?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
I used LimeWire, Kazaa.
When all that got
I never used Napster though.
Really?
Yeah, I never used Napster.
You're older than me by a little bit, so I would have thought you would have been in middle school at that point, or maybe high school. When I was in grade
probably
school.
Brainwashed by Metallica because that was probably my heavily listened band at the time, and so I was like, "Fuck Napster."
So your parents weren't the ones saying, the FBI is going to come kick the door down at 3
Oh no, my
a.m.?
dad wanted me to rip music for him.
Same with my dad.
He's like,
it's always the
"Burn me."
moms. It's always the fucking moms.
As soon as he discovered that we could do that, he's like, "Yeah." I think if I remember correctly, I could be fucking wrong, but if I remember correctly, like he was doing it himself. Finally,
he learned.
He learned.
He's using tools. My dad would just
they've discovered fire.
My dad would just dump it on me. Like when he got home from second shift, he'd be like waking 12-year-old me up, going, "Hey, Brad, what's that? That's I like this song by Supertramp. Could you get it on that program you use? Could you download it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Meanwhile, my mom is the one watching the news, going, "Some guy showed up and delivered all these usernames. You're not on there, are you?" I'm like, as a 12-year-old, I'm like, I probably not.
Username, what's that?
Now in hindsight, I'm like, Jesus H. Christ, I probably had about 46 usernames on that list. Half that fucking box that Lars Ulrich brought was probably my name. The amount of shit I stole from Napster. But now, it devolved to like stealing things off of YouTube.
Acquired.
That was the final one before I finally gave in to Spotify and streaming.
Sure.
I stole things off of YouTube. But
we're off the leash. Let's get back.
I discovered Death of Peace of Mind like 2 weeks ago. The song.
Amazing.
Yeah, I love that song. I really like that song.
Truth be told, I haven't listened to that whole album all the way through.
Yeah, me neither. But I just, that song is the only one they had in circulation on the road trip down. Yeah, and I loved it. So needless to say, when you were like, "Hey man, there's a Bad Omens live album week," I was like, "What?" I was like those cartoon characters where the eyes pop out and the tongue starts sticking out. Ow. Yeah, honking fucking bike horns and shit. I was like, "Yeah, let's go."
That's not where I was going.
But we'll see if that holds water, if you will. So
all right, strap in because we're going through this.
Oh Jesus, your takes.
All right, so opening track, Glass Houses, right?
Yeah.
What'd you think of that?
I mean, I'll get to my you can just
want to
unload.
go. All right, yeah. So
you take the reins.
I think this is the best track they could have opened with.
Okay.
Right. I love the opening line, and I think the majority of these tracks came off of their self-titled debut album.
Okay.
And that one I've listened to all the way through a couple of times now, considering that most of these songs and the songs on the Unplugged album are from that album.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So the lyrics are, I see through you, I know what you are, I see the devil more than I've seen God, and that's times 2. And then like the opening, like when the song really picks up and kicks you in the nuts, he screams, cover your ears and shut your eyes, because what I'm about to say is going to ruin your night. There's no better way to say, let's fucking go.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one. Again, I'm going to save all my opinions for my turn. I don't want to
I dare
sully
you.
it with...
There we are.
I don't want to sully it with what you've got going on.
No.
So, yeah, go ahead.
So I was very jacked about that song.
Sure.
Especially on the live album. I think I heard it before on the recorded version. But the fact that they opened with it and like it really roped me in is with this track.
So are you the type that likes the ass kicking intro? Like, so in this genre, let's say, because I know we're going to talk about a lot of different live albums over the course of however long season 2 becomes until we take a 5-year hiatus and season 3 comes out.
Well, let me ask you a question that might put some of this in perspective. This might also answer your question. What kind of a live show would you feel, or live experience you feel you would have if you went to go and see Papa Roach and they opened with Scars?
It'd be terrible.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I shouldn't say. I don't want to say terrible.
It'd be weird, though. It would be weird.
It'd be like, oh, we're going to start here.
Like, oh, wow.
We're going to start with this sadness.
With the image and everything like that. And this goes further.
That's a good way to look at it, because like also live shows and live performances are built also around banter. And
Yes.
Papa Roach... I have comments on that later. Papa Roach has banter leading up specifically to that song. You know what I mean?
They do.
So knowing I've seen them, I would say, well, twice in the last couple of years, knowing that I've seen them twice and knowing that they play that and they give this whole soliloquy before it about how, this song's for everyone who's, fill in the blank. You're right. That makes it even weirder, because I'd be like, okay, so we're just, like band comes out and tear my heart open right away. And I'd be like, well, where's the meaning behind it now? Because it's taken on a new meaning.
Right.
Live music takes on a new meaning every time. So,
and this goes a little step further. Part of the reason I believe that this is the best track to open with, on top of the fact that it was on their debut album, is that to go back to one of the things I stated previously, where we've kind of experienced this ourselves a little bit.
Yeah.
The singer came from another band. He has this new project that he's building and creating. And you get to a point where it's like, well, what is this about? And what is our name?
Oh, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And so this song was originally called Bad Omens.
Really?
Yes.
Where did you find that? Just anywhere?
In the deep corners of the internet.
Just the butthole of the internet.
Yeah. I said deep corners.
And I said butthole.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Yeah, this song used to be called Bad Omens, and then they changed it to Glass Houses, and
I always like to find out not so much that like, well, what was the reason for the change, but okay, so the new name is Glass Houses. Why?
Why? Right.
Like, why is it called? I mean, I don't have the lyrics memorized. I'm not going to lie to you. Well, I mean, not that, I hate to say it, not that any one I pick for next episode is going to I'll have all the lyrics memorized for those either.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they say glass houses in it.
They don't, I don't believe.
Yeah. And again, not that that's a credential for a good song for me or something like that.
I feel like, considering the opening lines of the song, that it might be in reference to like, you shouldn't throw stones in glass houses.
Oh, yeah,
right?
That's true. Yeah.
Cover your ears and shut your eyes, because what I'm about to say is going to ruin your night.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, that is interesting.
It might be a stretch, but that's kind of how I feel that ties in together.
I had no idea that was... Well, I mean, again, I just recently kind of got into the band. So, like, I knew what they...
Same.
That's a thing, too. I don't know if that's the same for you, but, like, there's a lot of bands I know exist.
Yeah.
Like for example, Architects is one where it's like, I couldn't name, like, 10 songs of theirs, but I know who they are, and I probably could point out a couple popular ones, you know?
Yeah.
So...
Curse.
That's the thing where it's like, you know, we're with some of these newer hard rock bands that have come out, I'm kind of discovering who they are along the way because they don't have like this extensive history. It's not like they're Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees already or something like that, you know. So
yeah, that's Glass Houses, the opening track, and with The Worst in Me, you know, the singer Noah, right?
Yeah, let's go. It is Noah Sebastian.
Noah Sebastian.
Hey, Noah.
MFer. So he's also the producer.
Okay, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Pretty sweet.
He is.
Of
Bad Omens. Okay.
The Worst in Me.
Does he go as hard as Caleb Shomo?
I've never seen them live, even in a video, so I really couldn't tell you.
Okay.
But his vocal range is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I really like the textures that they use between songs and you know, their riffs in all of these tracks. I think it works so well that they picked these tracks versus everything that was available, considering it was released in 2001.
Okay, 2021.
Yeah. Yes,
never forget.
Yeah. Yes,
well, I'm going to hell.
2000.
I'm going to enjoy my journey below.
Yes, I'm right behind you, sir. So, considering the fact that this was released in 2021,
it has been 20 years since then, as terrible as that is. And more after that now.
Dyslexia hits hard sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, I think they couldn't have picked a better selection of songs because I think this list of songs creates the package to a degree that hits hard, hits fast. It does all of the things in terms of texture, vocal range, and things of that nature. But then also, like, it gets over, and then you're like, you want more.
Oh, sure, yeah.
You know?
So do you think it was positioned in the right spot on this album? I know we tend to get to that at the end, but for right now, do you think a song like that, with how you're explaining it, is put in the right order on this set list? Because it's not really even like a track list. Like, I know it's an album, but it's like this was recorded live.
This was a set list.
It was a set list at some point, yeah.
I think so. I think so. I like the way that it flowed. I really did.
Excellent.
And again, the riffs, just every time I get in my notes, it's just all capitals, exclamation points, and all that shit.
Riffs. What was the guy's name? Hold on. We were like, Ruffalo. Ruffs. Riffs and Ruffs. Ruffs is throwing down some riffs. You see the guitars?
Some rough riffs.
I don't remember anything.
Yep.
Yeah, guitars. Yeah, that's
guitars.
Yeah, Nicholas Riffalo. Okay, he's gonna rename himself that now. Either you come on our show, talk about Miley Cyrus next episode.
There you go.
Or we're renaming you Nicholas Mark Riffalo.
Mark Riffalo.
Nicholas Mark Riffalo.
So Noah's vocal range is amazing. Between the screaming and just the highs. And like when I say the highs, like I'm not talking like the screaming highs or like the pushed highs, but like what's the term for it? Falsetto?
Oh, yes.
Right?
Okay,
right?
yeah.
I think that's the right term.
Yeah.
Feel free to reach out and trash talk me in the comments below.
Well, I won't be there because I don't know shit about singing. I know shit about drumming, and that's about it.
But the range is amazing, and I don't know what else to say about it. The fact that he's also a producer on these tracks, and also the singer is just amazing, and I think it flows this way on purpose because of that background as well.
I don't know if is that a complicated thing to be the producer and the band member?
Not really.
I mean,
I wouldn't think so.
If you really think about it, all local bands are that. I mean, there might be a leader of the band, which I would consider the producer.
Producer, right.
I think some other people in the Wisconsin music industry would argue otherwise, but I won't name drop. I won't say things. I won't make enemies before we even have fans.
Frenemies?
That's okay. Enemies are fans nowadays. That's what it is.
Yep.
There's They hate us because they ain't us.
Jesus Christ.
But I think like arguably every band that starts out, there's a producer in the band. But I want like once it actually reaches the scale of you're in circulation on Sirius radio or satellite radio, or you're really getting a lot of streams on Spotify or Pandora or whatever it might be. I wonder if that role becomes more difficult because now you're kind of in charge of something that's affecting other people.
Yeah.
Both in the live performance setting, which is stressful. It's not an easy thing to perform live, and in the business side of things, and when you do stuff in the studio as opposed to like live albums. Wonder if that's hard. And being the singer, no less.
I would imagine that it's not very difficult if you've got the broad spectrum for the idea as a whole to begin with, and being able to go, no, I want to do this here instead, right? That's kind of what producers get paid to do.
Yeah.
Or not to do in some people's cases. Where they are designed to look at your song, right? Because if you're an early local band starting out playing guitar and you're just chugging out riffs and the singer's doing his thing, whether you're a ska band, metal band, like whatever,
right?
You're kind of subject to your own material and how that sounds. It's the producer's job to make it sound better.
Yeah, right.
It's like they're supposed to hone in on the nucleus of the idea and make it much bigger and better than what your capabilities are.
Yeah, right. Well, and when you think about this too, my dad always pointed this out to me because my dad's a huge music guy. Surprisingly, for being way more left brain than not, but he was a fan of Michael Jackson, and probably back when after the Jackson 5, let's say. So like the era that everybody remembers him as being a solo artist for the most part, 80s into the early 90s. And my dad watched a documentary one time on Palladia or whatever the channel was. But he was like, he couldn't believe, he was trying to talk to me about like drum stuff because he doesn't play an instrument. And he was watching Michael Jackson like tap his foot, like, how he does on stage.
Yes.
Like it's really,
yes.
And he was like, man, that Michael Jackson, I mean, he knew what he was looking for. He knew what he was looking for with all his bandmates and everything.
Oh yeah.
And so I think of it.
It's like Prince.
To throw in my 2 cents into that discussion, not just about the worst in me song, but because it's just a microcosm of little, just a little fragment of everything we're talking about, I guess. But if he's the singer, it's always represented to me that like, oh, the singer probably knows how to direct everybody like a producer because he knows he's got amazing vocal range, like you said, or he can sing high low all over the place, so he already understands melody.
Yes,
and then rhythm supports that. So in my opinion, like I don't really do melody kind of things. I've done it, but not the level you do it. I do drums. So I would think that once melody is figured out, being, in my opinion, one of the more complex things to layer about a song or perform live, the rhythm, what you want it to be sculpted around.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I would think in his case, no matter whether it's easy or hard to be a producer in a band that's rising to fame like Bad Omens, I would think that it's probably not too hard, like you're saying, because you know what you're looking for, and that's arguably, I hate to throw bass players and myself under the bus, we're probably the easier of the things to sculpt as a team. Set us loose though, and it's like we don't fucking follow a click or anything like that.
Well, if we let me take a look back here. So yeah, originally the band did not have a drummer, but was later joined by said drummer, right? Because to go back to the production side of things, he can probably program drums and record and do
for a demo at the very least. Yeah. I mean, pretty much. I mean, you can program pretty much anything to build a demo around. So definitely. But
The Worst in Me, Never Know, great. I really enjoy their lyrical content, what the songs are about. I don't know if I added. I do have a whole bunch down below.
It's all good.
Yeah,
it's all good. I'm gonna take a vacation.
You're gonna take a vacation. So,
as somebody hits their head on the table.
So, do I want to jump down there and come back to the track? Let's do that.
Yeah,
we're gonna go.
You're gonna get all sorts of silly.
Yeah, we're gonna jump off the leash here. So, let's see. So to go back to the early years, right? Their self-titled album received positive reviews, and Metal Injection gave them a rating of 8.5 out of 10. right?
How early? Like the early years?
Yeah, the 2015.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's almost 10. That's 8 years ago now.
Yeah,
So I guess
almost 10 years ago now.
or 9 years. Yeah, you're right. Right? 8, 9,
9.
9. Holy shit!
Nine.
Those are the old days now.
Yeah. Many critics compared them to Bring Me the Horizon's Sepulturnal, right?
Boom! That's what I was trying to think of. They reminded me of Be the Horizon.
It's because of his vocals.
Yes.
It's his vocals that do that. And as soon as like everything came full circle for me when I read that, I was like, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one.
Thank you, because
Yes.
that is definitely what I was thinking.
And it's not on purpose either. So the same year their record came out in 2016, they started doing live Bad Omens shows in sizable venues across the U.S., did Warped Tour in 2017, and Bad Omens was initially scheduled to open for the Amity Affliction and Senses Fail for their 2019 Misery Will Find You tour. Misery Will Find You tour. Let me turn that.
Yeah,
I need to.
You need.
Here, you know what? Give me this.
Yeah.
Give me
You can
this.
hold it.
You
You can hold it while you're working
What?
on it.
Excuse me?
Anybody who's not watching a video of this doesn't understand what you can hold it.
What's
It's okay.
what's
Both hands.
happening right
Both
now?
hands.
Jesus Christ.
There you go.
Sweet.
Yeah,
We're here now.
It can rest on your lap.
Well, that's not what's happening. So,
Okay, I'll just rest it on the table. Is this how strong is this table?
Anyway. Pause for dramatic effect. All right, so they were scheduled to open up for Amity Affliction and Senses Fail on their 2019 Misery Will Find You tour. The band dropped off the lineup the day the tour was announced. And according to Senses Fail, they declared the reason they had dropped off was because their logo on the flyer or poster / promotional flyer was too small.
Like they dropped him off it because
they pulled out of it because Senses Fail claims that that Bad Omens pulled out of the tour because their name wasn't big enough on the promotional flyer.
Got it. So
Yeah.
they kind of felt like
Slighted.
they got mobied.
Yes. You'll get
Moby,
that.
Moby, join us on the show, buddy.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I don't want you to. Just kidding. It's fine. You can come on.
Bad Omens quickly released a statement afterwards clarifying that they left because agreements in the signed contract were not fulfilled. And both bands were now bullying the group over their own failure to comply. And subsequently, Bad Omens released a shirt with their logo on it recently in a tiny font to parody the situation itself. Very similar to another band that we know of.
Was that? I think I know what you're talking about with that.
Yep.
But they got sued in that case. No, they didn't get sued.
They didn't get sued.
They got cease and desisted.
They got exiled.
They got Lars Ulrich.
They did. And then on December 16th, 2019, Bad Omens released a new song, Never Know, and announced the deluxe edition of their album, Finding God Before God Finds Me, which featured 2 other songs, Limits and a Duran Duran cover of Come Undone.
What?
Yep.
This band did a cover. I didn't read any of your notes, by the way.
Ooh.
So I don't. All this stuff is new to me. And you've taken the iPad, so I don't fucking know what's coming.
He's got no idea what's happening.
This is like
right
I'm
now.
leading in a haunted house right now. So
okay,
they did a cover of a Duran Duran song.
They did.
I don't know. I'm going to look that up tonight while I lay my fat ass on the couch, as I was saying. Because I can't. His vocal range, yeah.
Yeah.
And I love me covers. You know that too. Aside from live albums, I've built in the past 2 years, I've built quite a rock cover of pop or whatever songs playlist that you can only dream about.
Yes. So yeah, they released that. So now looking at it, I didn't realize that Limits wasn't originally on that album.
Okay, and I love that song.
Right. So like some of this is new to me too. It's like, yeah, I put the notes in it, but it's like, did I pay a fucking attention?
This is like a discovery.
Ooh. So January 16th, 2020, the band released the music video for the track Limits. A day later, they released their cover of Come Undone. And then February and March of 2020, the band embarked on their first full U.S. headlining tour with support from Oh Sleeper, Thousand Below, and Bloodline. On March 13th, the remainder of the tour was indefinitely postponed due to COVID-19 pandemic.
Barf.
And then on January 24th, 2024, the band released Van, which I referenced earlier.
Oh, yeah, the
in
acronym.
collaboration
The
with
acronym
Poppy.
Van.
Violence Against Nature. That's a fun track.
Okay. Then I was gonna say that's a song, right? That's not a.
Yeah, it's a song.
Okay,
It's a song.
Yep.
So,
I did hear that on Sirius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember
it's
it now.
cycling there now.
Yep.
Funnily enough, I discovered last year when I was doing some of those live shows that band was scheduled to play with them.
Oh, really?
In I think Milwaukee.
Nice.
Yeah, but the pandemic killed everything.
So you mean like a couple of years ago, as in 2020?
Yeah, as in 2020.
All right,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
It would have been cool. Like at the time, I heard that story brought about frequently, which was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, sweet.
That's pretty neat.
Neato.
That's pretty neat.
According to
pretty cool.
AllMusic, Bad Omens music contains punishing breakdowns and anthematic choruses that evoke contemporaries like Bring Me the Horizon and Periphery.
What was it?
Punishing breakdowns.
I'm going to get punishing breakdowns. I just pictured somebody having headphones on and just like crying, like begging for mercy on the phone. Like can't get them off their head. It's just
damn.
Just like
That's
begging
yeah.
for mercy while they slowly lose their hearing.
So the lyrical content of the band's debut revolves mostly around despair, mental health, and struggles and addiction. And I found this part really cool. Noah Sebastian had this to say in an interview. They are on Sumerian Records.
Okay.
We know a number of notable bands on that.
I definitely, I know.
label.
I know of the label.
Yeah. Asking Alexandria is or was at one point.
That makes sense.
And there's a few others. But he said this about the song The Worst in Me in particular. It's about a very intense and unhealthy relationship I was in, but we wrote it in a format that's universal to all bad habits. More specifically, it's something you can't let go of or eat. My eyes are fucking up on me.
That's all right.
It's something you can't let go of, even though it's not good for you, whatever it is, whether it being a relationship, a drug problem, or terrible situation, you're addicted.
Interesting.
Yep.
That hits home
Yeah.
because not everybody's struggling with drugs or alcohol, but you can be addicted to a lot of shit.
I think that's...
And there's way more shit out there to be addicted to.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah,
is misconstrued as good because it's not drugs or alcohol. So that's why I think I agree with you. Like lyrically, I'll get to that when it's my turn. But like lyrically, I agree with you on a lot of that stuff. And I caught on to that where it was maybe sometimes these bands aren't singing always about how bad of substances they may have put in their bodies.
Right.
But more so the things that are much easier to overlook with regard to being addicted to something that's bad for you, because most of those things aren't really looked at or treated as being bad for you or your mental health.
Correct.
That sort of thing. So,
yeah. So,
thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
love it. Excuse me. So, what did you think of the album art?
Oh, I love that. From the graphic designer in me, I thought it was haunting and really cool. I really, really like mysterious and like kind of sentient. I don't want to say sentient. It's like what I like about the album art is that it's got this kind of mysterious creep to it.
Yes.
I don't like. Maybe that goes back to.
I like
I'm
the
not
fact that it's headless too.
I'm not a fan of gore. I'm not a fan of like a lot in this
Poor
world.
soul.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll watch those films. I don't, like, what is it, House of a Thousand Corpses, things like that. That level, I guess I'm not really too much of a gore guy. I don't seek it out, right? But I think I'm not a gore guy. I'm a gore guy there, hey. Yeah, if you can't tell, I'm from Wisconsin. I'm not much of a Gorgonite. Just an emissary of the Gorgonites. No, I like how that looked in terms of the tone. I like the fact that the album art has got this eerie, creepy sort of thing. You know what band? They have a live album. We will get to it eventually.
Go on.
Maybe we'll do it right after. Maybe we'll do it right after something like Beyonce or Madonna or something like that.
Like where this is headed.
Dimmu Borgir has a live album.
Do they have a live album?
They have a full live album.
You should put it on there. Yeah.
I will. There's thousands I have.
Ironically enough.
My guy, I don't think you understand. Thousands. I'll look it up when we take a break before it's my turn. I will look up how many hours my playlist is measured in, but I could drive to California and not repeat a song. I have a feeling right now from the Midwest, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or Waukesha, Wisconsin. I could probably make it to California and still have some songs to listen to going to bed that night. But they do. Their album that came out around that time, or maybe a little bit even further before
around this time?
No, around the time their
live album? Okay.
Yeah, around the time their live album came out. They came out with a studio album that was popular, that was brand new when I once saw them at Ozfest. And it was called, I think, was it Death Cult Armageddon or something like that?
I know.
Their art is what I'm talking about.
Yes,
it's like there's this creepy fucking shrouded figure in the middle of space, or like the Event Horizon or some shit. If anybody,
Great movie.
Speaking of gore.
Great movie.
Speaking of gore, anybody out there, Google Captain's Log Event Horizon and then have a good night.
Yeah.
But
fuck.
This creepy shrouded figure, that's what this brought me back to. So
Okay.
I think I like it. I like
it.
that art style for album art for bands like this. Definitely.
Same. I really liked what they did. It echoed. Do you know what the self-titled album looks like?
No, I
you haven't seen the thumbnail?
Yeah, I just know the one right now. I know the girl that's folded in half.
Yeah. So this album art echoes the same as the self-titled album.
Okay.
A little bit. And I'd show you, but we're recording video.
I'd show you, but I have to kill you.
Yeah.
No,
do you have your phone on you or no?
I do.
Yeah.
Let me actually, you know what?
Oh, multitasking. Shit.
Let me make sure I don't play the song. Here, I'll just look at the discography. Okay, so
right there. Bam.
Oh, the first one. Oh, yeah. Yep. I see it.
Right?
Yes. Creepy figure, central. There is no rule of thirds in that type of imagery. It's like dead on.
There's no
looking
rule
right
of thirds
the
in
fuck
that kind
at
of
you. Yeah.
Well, specifically,
You're
not this
looking
one.
right at that
Yeah,
one.
no, not this one.
You're talking about...
That's the album.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying is... So for those who aren't
familiar. I'm familiar with the rule of thirds.
Yeah,
I thought you were making a blanket statement stating like in this kind of imagery in general.
No.
I crossed the streams there a little bit.
You're good.
Sorry, folks.
Zach's only been drinking since noon. No, what I mean is like the individual in there is not, that's the eeriest thing to me.
Yeah.
I'll tell a story before I start my part in a little bit of something that doesn't have to do with music, but it freaked me the fuck out. And I think this might be, what is it? Not Mandela effect, but it might have been maybe Mandela effect is a way to put it. But it's something that in my childhood, I'm convinced happened, not in my life, but I saw on TV. And I haven't been able to find it ever since. So
are we talking it
pertains to what this artwork looks like, not just the live album, but also the one you just showed me.
Yeah, so that might actually be the Mandela effect, considering
even though it was on TV.
Yeah,
okay, yeah, I suppose.
Shazam and Sinbad.
Yeah, that fucking existed. Okay, I don't care what anybody has to say. That movie existed. I think it was called Kazam.
It was Kazam and it was Shaq.
It was Shaq. What did Sinbad do?
Stand-up comedy.
Well, and also Good Burger.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
I didn't think he was going to run into me this summer. That's all I remember from that. Because Keenan crashed into him or some shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyhow.
So.
The album art you liked.
I thoroughly enjoyed. Hold.
Through Good Burger, smelling the basement and sneezing from it and everything else, I assumed you liked the artwork.
Brace for impact. All right. Yes. Loved the album artwork. I thought it was great. It echoed back to their self-titled artwork, I thought, as well.
Sure.
And I need to...
So Zach needs to wipe his face. Not even just his nose, his face from that sneeze. Oh, yeah, I can... Like you were saying, I can definitely see the echoing of... the echoings or the rumblings, I don't know, of the original of the self-titled album. Yeah, the callback to that, right? So yeah,
loved the album artwork, and I think they've done a great job with album artwork since as well. I really liked the original. So, actually, take a look at this. Kids
go back to Spotify?
Yeah, go back to Spotify. Follow along on your computers, kids.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to click through here.
So this is the deluxe version
Oh,
of
sure.
Finding God Before God Finds Me.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. But I was about to say, I do enjoy the original artwork for it.
Where they're holding hands?
Yep.
Yeah.
Holding hands and
Cracked skin. I'm trying to narrate, tell the listeners what this looks like. I mean, you
For
can
everybody-
look up Bad Omens on Spotify and follow along.
Yeah, you
okay?
can-
It's
yeah.
like an online class.
online field trip.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the representation of this thumbnail is for the album, for that album artwork.
Okay.
But excuse me. Excuse me.
Zach's in a bad place right now.
But I do know that there is a form of fixing pottery and or broken dishes
Sure.
in Japanese culture with gold leaf.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a term for it, right?
I think I know what
I
you're
have
talking about.
no idea if this is a representation of that by any means, but like it's
Sure.
fixing something broken with gold leaf or gold itself.
I guess I never, this is a good thing to do into season 2 now because I've never really considered the album art of these things. I think we loosely talk about it here and there, but we never really, we should be talking about that because, the business I've owned my whole career is not just in video and audio and things like it's in graphic design and, and user experience. This is part of, especially with live albums. Like I think we briefly touched on this during the pilot episode about what albums inspired us, and mine was Mark, Tom, and Travis Show, why I became obsessed with live albums and became obsessed with playing drums. And that artwork is what kept drawing me in, right? On these live albums, I always looked at it like, damn, when a band comes out with an entertainer, whoever comes out with a live album, it shouldn't just be, oh, look at this, just whatever bullshit. It should be something that's like definitely different. Or like you're saying in this case, what I like about this is a callback to one of their albums, the other album art of theirs.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that it's great in my opinion.
Right, and if you look at the deluxe version of Finding
Yep.
God Before God Finds Me, again, another robed figure,
Yep, shrouded
in
creep.
mystery.
The shrouded creep.
And the image actually looks like, you can't pull it
zoom
up,
in, yeah.
bastard. It actually looks like a plastic wrapped either vinyl record or CD.
Oh yeah, I see it.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
Good shit.
yeah, I
like
love
that.
their imagery. I've never seen any of their videos, and maybe I should starting tonight.
But yeah, what's cool too about this, and then you can keep going with your analysis. But what's cool about the shrouded figure on this too is that you don't see the head.
Yeah.
So it's zoomed in
clearly
closely.
it's Jeebus.
Yeah, it's Jeebus. Hey, on page 92, it actually says Jeebus. No, but yeah, that shrouded figure is zoomed in enough that it's different. It takes a life of its own, but it's a callback to all that, which again kind of just summates this live album rant about album art that we need to do more of for season 2. Fuck it, season 2 is doing a lot more live.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hashtag that.
So again, back to lyrical content. Careful what you wish for. I thought was, great song, great message. Basically, it echoes one of my favorite lines from one of my favorite Metallica songs.
Sure. Which one's that?
King Nothing.
Oh.
Right?
Yep.
You remember the bridge
Yep.
for that one?
Oh yeah.
Careful what you wish for, you just might get it.
Yep.
Yeah, buddy. So I really love that. What would you call that?
You mean like how it kind of emulates a Metallica song?
No. Just the idea of like, be careful of what you ask for because you just might get it, and it might not. It might just be the monster.
I almost
you
said
don't
that's
want.
an omen, but no,
it is.
they're not
It's
that
clearly,
seamless.
It's clearly an omen.
That's an adage. I don't know. I know what you're saying. I
Yeah.
can't think of it either.
But
I know
definitely,
what you're getting at.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get it, listener?
We'll wait.
Do you? All right.
We'll wait until someone calls in.
Put your head next to the speaker ones.
Wait, we're recording this. This isn't actually live. Shit. Fuck it. We don't do it live. No, that's more of like a fuck. We didn't do it
Shit.
live.
So I really like the idea of that.
Call to action.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm just throwing out industry terms
I'm just
now.
throwing shit out. Throw it at the wall, see what sticks.
Yep.
But Limits is the next song. Definitely one of my 3 favorites. I couldn't pick one. Definitely one of the 3. I think that the album is short. I think it was done on purpose.
You think?
Yes.
I agree. I agree.
I didn't time it out entirely, but the way that you're going to look up, following along on Spotify.
Oh, no, I can't see. It's on desktop computers. I can see it. Usually on Spotify, it'll show 31 minutes.
There it is.
7 songs, 31 minutes of, what was it? Brutal riffs?
No. Punishing breakdowns is what it was.
You're going to get punished for 31 solid minutes.
Yeah, you are going to need a safe word. So,
Pause. Hey, Google,
is that
is that the safe word?
That was going to be... Yeah.
Hey, Google, call 911.
Is that pause pouring. Like PAWS or PAUSE?
Well, Siri would be like, looking up pause.
Bark like a dog.
she'd be like, pause are commonly on mammals. And it'll like, just while you're still being punished, like I picture you crawling across the kitchen floor, like trying to reach the pause, but like the what was the graphic? Speaking of
like when your legs get
CDs,
yeah.
Remember the graphic? It was like Edison. It looked like the dude's sitting in the fucking chair and his hair's blowing back. Picture him crawling out of the chair like across the floor, trying to reach his stereo button that no one below age 20 knows what a stereo is anymore. Probably.
Nope.
Anyways. 31 minutes.
So
pretty
31
short
minutes.
album, yeah.
I remember a long time ago I was told ideally an album is 40 minutes.
Really?
Like the sweet spot is 40 minutes, yeah. Which is probably why I feel it's short, and there's probably reasoning behind that being a thing.
I have an opinion about it being short, but it's not really a good or bad, pro or con. It's like
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Granted, like I said, it leaves you wanting more.
Yeah, that's true.
So again, the lyrical content and the message behind all of the songs, part of my draw to this band is the lyrical content, because somewhere in the evolution of my listening taste, I took on and really gravitated towards Beartooth around, say, the Disease album.
Yeah, right.
I bought the deluxe version of Aggressive, which really kind of hit home a little bit, and then I was anxiously awaiting this the album Disease, and just the mindfulness and the direction of or acknowledgement of mental awareness and things, mental health awareness, and all of that stuff really really resonates with some of the stuff I listened to recently.
Yeah.
Right. So this one again, if I remember correctly, is If You're Throwing Me to the Lions.
Yep. I Ain't Scared of Dying.
Yep. I wouldn't take one thing I did.
I would change one lyric in that.
One word I said, but I'm going to make you wish I did.
Yes. I love those lyrics. I would change one word. One word.
Yeah.
It's, if you're throwing me to the lions, you should know I'm not good at dying. Instead of not scared of dying. Like, I'm not good at it. Like, I'm not gonna die. Like, I don't die.
I got I got you. I heard.
I did. This is why I'm not in Bad Omens. Like,
I don't know if I agree with that. Only because I get what you're saying. It's like, come and get me. Like, you ain't gonna.
They should edit this like TV movie, like movies made for TV, where it's like everything's like, I don't give a darn.
No, I get what you're saying. I definitely do, and I would agree to a certain point, but I feel like that goes against the idea, because and then we're getting a little into the ethos here. There's ego behind.
Don't we all?
There's ego behind. I'm not good at dying. It's a statement of like, fuck you, come get me. You're gonna lose.
Sure.
Versus, I'm not afraid of what you think you're gonna do.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I got it.
But that's just my lizard brain working.
I think it's also because, again, I was the first time I was listening to this, I was vacuuming my Ford Escape, and I think I stopped the vacuum. I thought that's what he said. I thought it was, I'm not good at dying. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. That's interesting. So now, obviously, I know he says, I'm not scared of dying.
Yes.
But I think that's why it kind of stuck with me. I was like, the initial, the power of the first listen, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I'd have to say that if I personally picked a song of theirs to cover, Limits would probably be it.
Yeah, it was a bop.
Yeah, it was that
Trying
one
to
slaps.
keep us young and fresh.
That one slaps.
Oh, I wrote that in my notes.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
That it's a bop?
Wait till we get to my notes.
That it's a bop or that it slaps?
That it slapped. Something slapped and something was a bop.
All right. I dig it.
No, you don't. It's okay. Be honest.
No, I like it. So that's one of my 3 favorite. The interludes and the lead-ins. I'm big on those right now.
On all the songs? Or
On
just
all
this
the songs.
Okay.
So you've got to listen to the acoustic or the unplugged, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Listen to the unplugged and also listen to the original recordings of some of these off of
Sure.
I want to say the self-titled.
Okay.
There's the drums that you hear in between Limits, and I think it's between Limits and Dethrone, or another two. I think the other two are
Mercy is the last
Dethrone
one.
and Mercy. But there's almost like tribal drums in the background and
Oh,
use of that. Yeah, right. You remember that?
Yeah, big fan of that shit.
Yeah, I'm really big on connecting songs with interludes and kind of cleansing the palette, and I think they did a great job of that.
You know who does that big time? That I didn't put this in my notes, but
Are you gonna tell
kind
me?
of occurred to me. It was Starset. They
Oh,
do
really?
that. They do that live a lot. Yeah,
I like it.
everything's got an interlude of sorts. I think the other one that I know for sure does that is In This Moment. They do that.
Yeah,
now.
they do that.
Their live album is from when they first started, and that was more of a live album / DVD because there's talking between the songs.
Okay.
Not on the songs.
Like commentary?
They're their own song. They're their own tracks.
Okay.
But nowadays, if they were to, and I hope to God they do, put out a live album and DVD, that's because they have such a Cirque du Soleil from hell kind of show
Yes.
going on.
They do.
They
They
do
really
interludes a lot too, and I know it's because Maria Brink probably needs to change a bunch of clothes. that
Yes.
sort of
Yep.
shit.
That very well could be.
But anyways, I agree with you because one of my favorite newer bands being Starset, I think that they do that a lot too. So I like that.
Yeah. I guess one of the reasons that I'm really big into that right now is also the new While She Sleeps album.
Oh yes.
Did you catch some of those instrumentals?
I
in between?
do. Yes, with that band, I definitely do.
And I really got, and this ties back to it because when I listened to this live album, when I listened to While She Sleeps, it echoed back to me like when I listened to Incubus, right? Incubus back in the early 2000s, where there was like songs that interluded. Or
damn, some of their songs are just full blown interludes.
Yeah, I know. Or Linkin Park on Meteora, where the songs connected via strings or some different orchestral composition that
like
wasn't part of the song.
Like a concept album kind of. Well, I mean, not that they all have to be like that, but like Pink Floyd, the OG one. It was like my dad would always say, "Oh, it's one big long song, but divided into tracks." That was like the OG. Something connects them all one by one. Even like as an interlude. I guess I agree. Like now, that's what I would call them. But yeah.
And another one that actually started this entire thought process with listening back to some of those albums was the Forbidden Band.
The Forbidden Band.
Yes, there's only one.
Oh, we all know what that is.
We do.
I might not even say it. I'm just going to say it.
Don't
We
say
all
it.
know
You
what
better
it
not
is.
say it. I said
we're going to do.
There's a reason.
There's a live album we're going to do of it, but
What?
it is the Forbidden Band.
They don't have a live album.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different
You're thinking
Forbidden
of
band.
What band are you thinking of?
On the count of three, say the band you're
No,
thinking of.
I'm not.
Yes, we're doing this.
We're doing this?
Yes.
This is happening too?
Yep, I don't care. It's coming in.
Fine.
1, 2, 3. Nickelback.
Lost Prophets.
Oh, okay. I see why. I see why you're calling them the Forbidden Band.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Anyways, I need a shower.
Yeah. That's a different kind of Forbidden Band.
Anyhow, yeah, that's a real Forbidden Band. No, they don't have a live album, and they never will, probably. Well,
No, they never will.
yeah, they never will. God. I wasn't kidding when I said, "Goddamn,
Pour
I need
one
a
out
shower."
for the
now.
homies.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I hope he's decapitated somewhere.
Yeah.
The interludes are amazing, and it really threw back to some of the stuff I used to listen to back in the day. So that's kind of what hooked me into the end of the album, too.
Okay.
And so I wanted to go back, and since we talked about some of the album art and the thumbnails and all of that,
yeah.
if you haven't caught on already, the albums that they've released so far, starting in 2015, was their self-titled, 2016, I think, was their self-titled album. They're on Sumerian Records. And then Finding God Before He Finds Me, the deluxe version of that. And then I've got the unplugged version and the live version next, and then Death of Peace of Mind.
All right.
And that's assuming that those are or that this is a double album.
Oh, sure.
Right. Again, if somebody else knows, please fucking clue me in.
Sure.
I have no idea.
Yeah. This is, we're fresh as baby shit in the Bad Omens arena.
Oh.
That's for damn sure.
Oh.
Anyhow.
So, Dethrone. Riffs, and riffs galore.
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo.
No, what was his name?
It was, Nicholas Ruffalo?
Nicholas Ruffalo.
It is Nicholas Ruffalo.
It's going to be Nicholas Ruffalo for right now.
And Rip Nix.
Rip Nix. There you go. Yeah, riffs galore.
Yeah, the riffs galore.
Give me your riffs.
Give me your riffs.
Give me your horns.
Yeah. And then the lyrical syncopation of this one is just fantastic. I really enjoyed what they did with the flow of the vocals throughout the song and how that all tied together.
Kind of, in a way, remind you of a grungier Falling in Reverse song?
No.
By any chance? No?
No.
Okay.
What song are you talking about?
Dethrone.
Is it in... No. What Falling in Reverse song are you talking about? I know what song I'm talking about.
Any song that Ronnie Radke has made in the past year or so with the quantity of rap that man spits out.
Oh, are you talking about Watch the World
that one.
Burn?
Not Voices in My Head. What's the other one? I think Popular Monster. It's a little
He
slower
does.
in that one, but yeah, mainly Watch the World Burn.
Zombified?
No, that one's more singy. Definitely
right.
Watch the World Burn.
All right. Yeah, it didn't remind me of them at all,
Okay.
actually.
Okay. All right.
And then Mercy, I think they couldn't have ended on a better track. I did discover after listening to this and listening to their other albums and the unplugged version that this is a great song to end on, considering all of the songs on the album or this live album / track list. And I do like, I believe it was the unplugged version of this better.
Really?
Yeah.
Versus the live version
Versus
or
the
the
live-
studio version.
Versus the live version or the studio version.
Okay. Interesting.
And I didn't think this, granted, it was claimed that they have punishing breakdowns. I really didn't find them too breakdown heavy.
Yeah, maybe it's just because we ended season 1 on Beartooth, but Beartooth has more punishing breakdowns in my opinion, in general, than
this album.
Yeah, then I would say than most of the album. There's parts,
Oh,
but
yeah,
not,
for sure.
Not in any capacity the level of breakdown, punishing breakdowns that you get from a band like Beartooth or Wage War, especially.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
But I think that comment would be challenged if you went back and listened to some of their other stuff. For sure.
Sure. I'm gonna.
But just based on the live album, I would have to agree with that.
Oh yeah, most def. So I want to dive into my stuff, but we're gonna take a quick break here, and then Brad is gonna crack his neck, crack his knuckles, and pull that dirty shovel back out and unearth the corpse that we buried before we then conclude. Then we'll conclude with what could we add to this, what songs would we add to this, blah, blah, blah.
What was missed.
Yeah, what was missed. But we will be right back on Fuck It.
We'll do it live. pause for dramatic effect.
And the drum drops. Welcome back to fucking We'll Do It Live.
Well, you can keep rolling. I need to prep the video.
Oh, yeah. So Zach is trying to capture some footage of this stuff.
I like feet stuff.
I don't know if I... Oh, man. This is like there's a live not while she sleeps. We've been talking about them so much. There's a live sleeping with sirens. Same difference. Same action over 8 hours at night. There's a live unplugged with drums and everything, though. Sleeping with Sirens album. And the guy hates talking to the audience. Like, just hates to have to banter. And he brings a guy on stage at some point, and I'm sure we'll cover this album in the many years ahead of us. But he brings a guy on stage at one point, and he's just like...
Sleeping with Sirens?
Yeah, Sleeping with Sirens. And he's like, what's your name? He says his name, and he's like, where are you from? And the guy's just like, one word answers. He's like, no, come on, you got to talk. I hate talking, and this is what I have to do while they're tuning.
I love it.
So that's what that reminded me.
I love it.
That long, convoluted fucking journey.
I love banter. I love banter.
Yeah, it just led to Zach opening yet another beer. I can't delete that out of the audio, just so you know.
Nope.
So, my take on this.
So I do want to say, I think the production is fantastic. I didn't put it in the notes, and I apologize for jumping.
I do have it in the notes, actually, yeah.
Because they're similar to another album that I referenced and talked to you about earlier in the week.
Sure.
Your Forbidden Band.
They're not quite forbidden, but
no, they're not.
They're along the lines of it.
Again, another example of being so true to tone in a live setting. It's amazing.
Sure.
You don't always get that. You don't always get that. And whether it's, maybe it's the venue, maybe it's the sound guy, like there's a number of things that go into what could potentially affect that. And I think it was done.
I wonder if nowadays, because we don't know exactly what all these bands are doing and things like that. I wonder if it's nowadays a thing of like backing tracks, like mixing on stage, like, your friend mixing the band you were filling in for on stage, like doing all the, like having control over all this.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
Remotely makes it so much easier to do a live performance where it sounds phenomenal and mixed phenomenal. But I do have comments on that. But
right, because you can dedicate a MIDI track to, or a backing track to a MIDI pad. Yeah. And just hit it in time, and it'll go and it'll do what you want it to do.
Yeah, so I wonder if that has something to do with the production value.
I'm sure it probably does. In fact, there's a good number of... I've seen it. I know people, obviously know people who do it, where it's almost all direct in, no amps.
Yeah. In this case, though, I wonder if it's because there's no fucking audience, and I need a live audience if I want a live album.
You just couldn't hear them. I know. I have no idea.
I know, because going back to what you were saying, I've become a live album purist a little bit. Actually, not really, because I jotted down here.
Are you a gatekeeper? Are you a live gatekeeper? I don't know. You might be. Yeah.
No, but I know I disagree with myself, because we finished on Live from the Journey Below, which we knew. We were able to research, though. They did it during COVID, like we were saying. Yes. That wasn't like, that grew on me instantly. It was fine. I didn't care. It's fine. After like 2 listens, I was like, yeah, this album slaps.
Well, yeah.
And who cares that it's
that's
still
because
live.
They didn't give a shit.
But I wonder sometimes if, like, for example, like you said, this one, you think there's an audience. We don't really know. We can't confirm or deny if there was an audience with this one, or if it was a live stream, or what it was. It was in 2021 is when it appears to have been released. So that's like what we know in terms of that. So if we were to assume, let's go 2 different directions. If we were to assume that it was during a live stream, like Live from the Journey Below by Beartooth, then the production value isn't surprising to me, because then it's like, okay, this is just about a studio album, except they did it in one take. Like that sort of thing. If it was in front of an audience, that changes a lot of things for me, because I'm like, okay, well, that production value is top tier for the mixing engineer, the mixer and master, whatever you want to call them. Because then it's like, well, however the fuck they got rid of all the audience noise and did not sacrifice anything else is amazing, because you got microphones and all this other shit that isn't just line into the you know what I mean? Drum microphones.
Yes.
Those are hot mics that will pick up ambient noise. However the fuck they got all that out of it, if it was live, is amazing. What are you doing? Your Mongolian throat singing?
Yeah. Ambient noise.
Yeah, the white noise that those fuckers pick up. If they were able to get rid of that with an audience, I mean, right there, folks, right there.
Well, I mean, those are
can't.
called directional mics sometimes.
Well, but there's a lot of when you've got a crowd of a metric fuck ton of people in a room that I'm assuming is not a sound stage that deadens noise and all kinds of other shit in the perfect environment of the perfect world. I give them credit, but the purist side of me, I really did for a band like this, and that kind of comes out.
I'm gonna start calling you the gatekeeper.
You're allowed, but for a band like this, and it'll come back when I get to the parts of the set list I liked. I could have really used an audience, my guy. It's like the cowbell factor. It's like you're gonna want that cowbell. You're gonna want that audience when you hit some of those jams, my guy. But but that aside,
howdy.
The worry that I had the first moment I listened to it, the worry that I had was, I'm like, yes, it does sound very well produced.
Mm-hmm.
Is it too produced, finished, almost studio sounding to the point where it even qualifies a live album for me?
Would like
become a debate for some things for me.
Thinking about it, I would like to, when we get to the other potentially live recorded in studio album that's on the list.
Yeah. Papa Roach?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to compare.
Okay. All right. We'll remember that. We'll earmark that. Because I agree. I think
that might have been what this was. I'm not sure.
That one is notably in a studio.
Yes, that one is.
Yeah, absolutely. But that
also on YouTube.
Yeah, that was my original worry, was that it was going to be too produced. It sounded so good that I was like, yeah, but is it becoming... I get the gatekeeper ideas, but I'm like, is it becoming so much where it's like we're so afraid of human debauchery and whatever in a live recording that it's like now we just need to do it in a take in a studio where everyone doesn't move? And again, I can think of somebody that we know that did that. And I think that maybe is playing into it. I didn't write that down, but I will say I think personal experience from individual situations in local industries, let's say, is playing into my thought of just let it fucking happen and record a live album, just like whatever it ends up doing and sounding like it's art. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Whereas when you start dipping your dirty hands into it so much, it doesn't make it not art. Art is expression. That's it. It's not art with a capital A, like it's a product all the time. We've commercialized it, but it's not really. You can't commercialize art in a way. I think that's what I like about live albums when they have the audience present, or when it's recorded when the audience is present, because it's captured. It's authentic. It's not something that is like, okay, now we're going to make it sound perfect.
Right.
Like this podcast is in a basement. It's not perfect. You know what I mean? And that's cool about it. And it sounds respectable. Yeah, if you're watching some video clips, as you can see. That's what's cool about it. But when you take that out of it, sometimes for me, maybe not for everybody, maybe including you, but sometimes for me that teeters on the brink of, is it too produced?
Yes.
Now,
yes.
This, after listening to it a few times, much like The Journey Below, has, redeemed it's fallen under that category of Live from the Journey Below, where I don't feel like it's that heavily produced. And there are the occasional interactions with a crowd, assuming there is one there, as I put on the record, where he says, the song's called blah, blah, blah. Like that sort of...
I loved those intros, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I loved those.
Well, I liked that about, I think one of them I write down, where it's like they start with that really beautiful, hauntingly beautiful, like interlude, as you like, and it kind of is like fading out. And the song is called... whatever the one it was. Let me look through my... It was... Oh, the song is called The Worst in Me.
The Worst in Me, yeah.
That one,
that was
for
a
example.
good one.
I like that. That needs to be there, even if it's a studio one or something, or like Beartooth. There needs to be some kind of
identifier,
acting like act this out like art, like it's really live. Don't take breaks between the songs and stop the recording and all this. Like record it through, and then you can cut them up and do whatever you need, but don't make it to a point where it's like, this is a studio album.
Speaking to the art side of things, okay?
Yeah.
I want to go down a rabbit hole a little bit because this just kind of like just popped in there.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Gatekeeper.
All right.
So being art, we have a set list here, right? That's what was recorded. That's what was put out. There's another band on the list that also did a live set. I read an interview recently, and we'll see if you remember who it is. Somebody auditioned to be their guitar player and auditioned a couple times, got the gig.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Got the call back. And it had been so long since he auditioned in the first place that he didn't think he got the gig because a couple of guys that he knew actually auditioned.
Sure.
In between.
Yeah.
But he got the call back, and he's like, "Great, now you've got to learn 32 songs."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he goes, "What do you mean? Don't you have a set list?" And they're like, "No, Axl just calls them out as we're playing."
It's Guns N' Roses. Now I know.
Yeah, now you know.
I remembered it. Yeah.
I saw the light bulb come on.
Yeah.
But in terms of being art, right?
Yeah.
Like too scripted, not too scripted. Like you don't get any further from script than just calling them out, but also what kind of chaos are you asking for?
Well, right, exactly. I mean, it's like, again, it's kind of looks back to like we're humans. That's what it is. And that's why music is what it is and how powerful it is, because it's authentic. And, you believe it or not, you think back to like studio recordings versus live. I guess this is a good topic to talk about when
like reel to reel we
coming
talking?
back. Well, I mean, just like think about eons and eons ago when music was just, you go and listen to an orchestra play because that's the only way you can hear it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
fair.
Again,
fair.
That was before art was capitalized. Art was a capital A. Then we've commercialized it literally because we can record it. Because the second you've recorded something, now I can duplicate it. Now I can make a profit off of it. Now labels can make a profit off it. Now band managers can make a profit off it. Now whatever makes a profit off of it. And then all these years later, Napster destroys all that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And in my opinion, in some ways, restores the art. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that was what everybody got upset about in that regard with Napster, neither here nor there. But because it was all of a sudden like, well, we're calling out the reality that you've made it into a capitalistic, commercialized thing. And art is always just is lowercase. It's always just been art. It's what it is.
Yes.
It's a stream of consciousness that is embodied in something. Every time Bad Omens performs, if they performed on this live album, if they did one that has crowd noise in it, every little thing is different about it between one or the other. So, like I said, I love how this ends up because, yeah, I'm a consumer. I'm consuming listening to their music. I can't go watch Bad Omens every other day because I want to listen to it to prepare for our podcast.
Right.
Like I have to listen to it. It's good. Like contemporary society has commercialized art, including music especially. But I think that the reality is that's okay. But live albums really strike a chord in me because it's a captured version of the lowercase art.
That
I guess is what it is.
in
Yeah.
time.
So I think that's what this is. I'm not debating or doubting, I would say, Bad Omens. And you guys can come on. It'd be great if they're listening to this once it's posted and they go, hey, we'll clear all this up for you. I really doubt they will. But if they were to, I would love to know where this was recorded, and for what reason is it not a traditional live album. So, moving on from that, I did, funnily enough, the song Mercy, the last song, right? Until I listened to it on with headphones on, where I was actually listening to it, not cleaning my car.
In your ear, like right in my ear. Right in your ears.
Yeah. I was gonna say we might not hear you if you're that far back.
Fair.
I don't know how good or bad my basement is in there. But I thought I heard audience noise in Mercy.
Yep.
At the beginning.
There's a couple of tracks that I thought I also heard some audience noise.
I think that might just be part of those interludes. I think that might just be some kind of pre-recorded thing that's on them, having listened to them with headphones, like noise-canceling headphones, where I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if that's actually crowd noise or not. It sounds like people talking. It sounds like maybe the bandmates talking. But I thought I picked up on it. Maybe. Just a little bit. Just a smidge. And if it is, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
But so Bad Omens in general, after hearing this, gives me a very I Prevail feel to their song structure, singing versus screaming, all that sort of stuff.
Sure.
Going back to the brutal breakdowns, I feel like I Prevail has probably
it was punishing breakdowns.
Punishing breakdowns. I feel like I Prevail has a lot more blah in their parts. I agree with you. Bad Omens. Bad Omens is more on the star set side of things where they're heavy. They throw down double bass, all kinds of stuff, but it's got this real wide, broad. I like I would envision playing in a band like that kind of tone
Sure.
that I like. But there was some to their song structure, especially on the select 7 songs on this album. I was getting very I Prevail feels from them. I Prevail meets Bring Me the Horizon.
Okay.
I would say.
Okay.
At least a little bit. So again, yeah, go ahead.
Actually, now that we're thinking about it for me, and maybe that's the producer side of things for Noah.
Sure, yeah.
I get a very, not in terms of sound, but in terms of production, how things play out, the interludes between songs and things of that nature.
Yeah.
You know who comes to mind?
Who's that?
David Byrne.
Okay.
Of the Talking Heads.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You think that...
Like the cultural or the tribal drums in between tracks.
I can see
and
that.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. No, that's not I make those crossovers too. I like, that's not far off. I see what you're seeing. So yeah, I think that some of these harder rock bands, I'm looking at lyrics all the time, but how they sing versus scream, right?
Yes. Yes.
And that was probably what triggered the I Prevail feelings on this specific set of songs, their performance. Because I Prevail has a live album. I would call it a live compilation. It's got crowd noise through it. It's definitely not the same recordings, but they produced it in a way that sounds like it's at the same location, with the exception of, I think, Every Time You Leave. That song, like that was live in the studio, and then they fade in crowd noise at the end of it. Like you can tell it's faded in from the next song.
Okay.
That kind of production I can respect too when you're working a live in studio track or two where they fade in and out crowd noise or what have you, that sort of thing. It's got a artistic or like an art feel to that, right? But
I'm really starting to gravitate towards some of the bands that really focus on the art side of things, like this being one of them.
Yeah.
And like, funnily enough,
it's probably an AI thing.
You think so?
Because everything is so digital. You can like look at how easy it is to make stuff, make music.
I don't think so. I don't. No. I'm talking like the human side of art.
Yeah. Right. But I'm right. Sorry. Go ahead. Because I got another thought.
Okay.
So go ahead. Yeah.
So I'll finish mine. So like one of the other bands that I'm like starting to like dabble back into and listen to again and have the same or see the same charm in is Linkin Park right now, right? That is a band that
focuses on the
human side of art. And
the higher levels of the cognitive domain.
Yes, right? That's one of those bands. I think that's part of why I've gravitated towards While She Sleeps so much recently.
Sure, yeah.
And some like in this band as well.
Yeah.
And it really has come to like the forefront. It's like it's art, but it's also human. And to overproduce really strips it of that element.
Oh, yeah. And that's what I was getting at. I think that bands are starting to do that more, starting to be a little more human. I hope that's the renaissance of live albums coming our way because of that, because of AI is what I mean. Or, not just AI. I know that's the boomer buzzword. Sorry. Anybody who's a boomer that just heard that, you can hate me. That's fine. I'm a millennial. I live in my mom's basement, right? No. I live in the basement. It's my own, though. And I pay the mortgage. But at any rate, no, the advancement of technology, the ease of recording, all this stuff, I think kind of applies to why bands are going to get more, why I hope to see live albums come out, because the production is kind of like it's more human, like you're saying.
Yes.
And I think they appreciate and prefer that because to differentiate between, okay, we overproduced this live studio album where it's like we might as well just made a new album, you know what I mean, or greatest hits or whatever. That would have been cheaper and faster, you know what I mean, or something like that. I think they're going to take the route of more live albums, live recordings, live streaming, from a concert on YouTube that turns into a live album, hopefully, stuff like that, because it differentiates from how other bands might just make it super easy and just produce something in a day, and it's like, okay, there it is, or even use AI tools or anything like that might be like, okay, I'll have this create the bass, this create the drums, and I'll just sing over this and put it out there because I know about this much about mixing and mastering, and here you go. I think bands want to stake their claim where it's like, it's like that pride point. It's like,
right, sure.
Maybe not all entertainers. Like we're going to, on the docket is live Miley Cyrus, live whatever other, The Weeknd, that sort of thing. Maybe other entertainers feel differently, and they just wanted to do a live album because they thought the set list was cool. I don't know, but I think hard rock bands, are going to probably restake their claim because that is a cultural thing with this genre, is throwing down in the pit and what the fuck is up, Denny's, and shit like that.
Yeah. You want to hear
my karate guy?
Cha!
Yeah.
Recently, I received a really cool compliment that I think you will appreciate also.
Okay.
One of our listeners,
yes,
my coworker and buddy, good friend Nick, asked me to send the set or the list for this season.
Okay.
And so I did, right?
Sure.
And he's like, "Wow, that's a lot more variety than I expected." I was hoping you were going to say that.
What is he? Is he thought that we were just going to do hard rock?
He thought
that's what we like to do.
He knows me. Like, he doesn't know you from
sure.
Nobody.
From my ass from the hole in the ground, or whatever
that's the phrase is.
We still don't know what that word is. Like the homage, the attage, whatever. I don't know. The old
soliloquy,
the old phrase,
the old trick in the book.
Anyways.
Yeah, so he had stated, he goes, that's actually a lot more variety than I expected. I was
good.
I was hoping you would say that.
Good.
So yes. I thought I would share that with you, and also thanks, Nick.
Thank you, Nick. We're kicking off with a heavy album, no doubt, because we want to kick everyone in the nuts and say we're back. And I know we have an abrasive name to this podcast.
Remember the safe word
with the word "fuck" in it, but that does not mean we're not going to cover Whitney Houston because she sings the national anthem at the Super Bowl in one of those. Or Bob Marley, because it reminds me of my honeymoon. Or whatever. There's tons and tons and tons of live albums.
So many.
I'm so glad. But sifting through that diversity, we started with this one because it kicks you in the nuts, like Glass Houses, when this album starts. Yes.
I fucked your shit up when I told you about this album.
Yeah, you did. It was great. It was great. It was great. That's all I can say. No, I'm with you there on the lyrics. Yep. Cover your ears and shut your eyes because what I'm about to tell you is going to ruin your night. That was very reminiscent of the band we were in, like lyrics that you and I worked on together in a band. So maybe that had some effect on me. But
it's really funny you drew that.
It brings the energy
comparison because of the note that their band name came from his song name.
It's very funny that we both drew the same lyrics too from the first album.
Yes,
for the song of this album. So that's just a brotherhood right there. But Glass Houses brings the fucking energy big time. And I need that too. I agree with it was taking everything in me to just hold all my notes for later. But yeah, I need that. On any live album, it doesn't matter if it's pop or rock or country, even country. It's like one of the country ones we're going to do by a popular star, I won't say now. He does not open with something that kicks you in the nuts, and I think it should. I think it doesn't matter if it's country. It should still open with like a Glass Houses energy. Because that's what I loved about this. It's just like, we're going to kick it off, and then we're going to bring it down a bit for a second. We're going to bring everyone back to, okay, welcome to the show. Here's a nice warm hug, in the mosh pit. You're all here now. We're all together, all that. Like, hey, how many of you have depression? Don't.
I mean, if we're going to sidestep into country, what?
We'll get there.
I mean, does Johnny Cash have a live album?
Yeah, Folsom Prison. That's like the highest selling live album of all time. We're going to do it. We got like 30 albums on that list already. So,
we do. Well, I know I put Johnny Cash on the list, but we didn't have an album next to it.
That's the one you'd wanted. I'm sure he's got more than that, but you're going to want to do the infamous, famous
that would be
infamous
the one. That'd be the
Folsom
fucking
Prison.
one, man.
Oh, yeah. That's way back, and that's some, talk about art.
To take a deep breath through my forehead.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Anybody who's seen the trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine knows what I'm talking about.
Jesus Christ. Okay. I'm just sitting here. I should be that awkward guy since you're just like, okay. On that note. Parlaying from Glass Houses, for this being a shorter album, as we were talking about, it's not the longest, and I would say I've got different tabs that our listeners don't, I guess possible viewers don't see, but on our spreadsheet, on our where we collect all these, our wiki, if you will, Our wiki. I marked albums, demos, singles, and then Want, which we're going to get to eventually, which is band like Breaking Benjamin doesn't have a live album.
Power Man 5000.
Power Man 5000. Some of the ones that don't have a live album like we envision, we're going to sculpt one for them and, gladly take royalties from it. No. But at any rate, this was almost demo territory in my book. But what saved it was, like you were saying, you didn't know if it was intentional that it was this short. The way I saw it is they're a newer band. Even at the music fest that they're playing at this year that I see them popping up at, they're at the 4 o'clock time slot. All that.
Yep.
Those bands only play like a half an hour, 40 minutes. You know what I mean? Like that. So
I would like to note that we're still going. All right. I would like to note that a lot of these notes that we took were based off the idea that this was just a standalone album, but from a lot of the things that I've seen, it's actually a double album.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So yes, while it is half an hour and short, if you pair it with the unplugged version, it's a good collection.
Yeah, I mean that might be it. It might be.
How weird would it be? Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's all right.
Like all the time.
Yeah, it's all right.
How weird would it be to open season 2 with Bad Omens Live and close it with Bad Omens Unplugged?
I mean, I don't know. We'll figure that out. You're putting me on the spot. I don't know. Like Unplugged, is it live?
It's not live, no.
Oh.
But it's part of said double album.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see we'll see what this journey takes us on, because I don't even know what the fuck's coming next in terms of the album. So we'll explore it. We'll see. But what I'm getting at in all this dribble is that this dribble, not dribble, is that I kind of felt like the songs at the beginning of it, even though it's so short, they kind of weaved back and forth from being a banger to something that almost seemed like filler to me, in a way.
Really?
Yeah, in a way, in my opinion.
Okay.
I definitely wrote in my opinion. This is more or less how it hit for me, at least. Like a roller coaster of something that slams and that something is then followed by something that's like... I
definitely got the roller coaster feel.
Yeah, maybe that's it. It's more like a roller coaster feel. It's not really so much just, oh, this one's great and this one sucks. I don't think any of them were bad. I think that it was just, this is like Glass Houses. This is a fucking banger. And then the next one's like, okay, I get it. Like it's, kind of a little more mellow because obviously that's what I like. But it's like, yeah, but like maybe it didn't hit as hard. Maybe it hit so hard. Like Glass Houses hit so fucking hard that right after that, it was like, well, I'm expecting like a Beartooth level hard hitting through all 50 minutes of like brutality.
Punishing breakdowns.
That might be part of it, but I got the roller coaster vibe right away after.
Absolutely.
Right away after the Glass Houses track. Musically, move into Worst in Me. To me, the verses of Worst in Me are better than the chorus. I don't know. I love the haunting, sentient, almost sounding tone they've got.
Yeah.
But the chorus just kind of fell flat. And it wasn't like it fell flat in a bad way. Again, none of this bad, really. I've got live albums in the queue that I know are going to be, this song was great. This one's dog shit. Like that sort of thing. This one passed
dog shit.
This one passed the dog shit test. This one's more on the lines of, well, I avoided the dog shit, but it's like I still smell it. So we're like, okay, we're avoiding. We're good. Oh, perfect.
It's not on my shoe, but it's on the porch.
Yes. It's burning on the porch. Yes. But yeah, I think the Worst in Me had this like sentient tone.
Yeah.
That's like haunting is the word I like to use, similar to the cover art.
Yo.
I did note that there's a part, I don't know if you caught up on the Worst in Me in this, the backup vocal, or, I guess it'd be maybe it's my buddy Nick Riffalo, is singing like a part that the singer isn't singing. And that sounds super raw.
Yes.
And
I did catch that. I did catch that.
Sounds super live. It sounded, and to me, that caught me by surprise because it sounded live and in an actual live venue setting.
Yes.
Not in a studio.
I'm with you there. Yep.
I don't know if it was the echoing or...
No, like it's the tone of his voice is what it was.
It's just raw.
I know exactly what you're talking about because it's not Noah.
Yes.
You can distinctly tell the difference. And it's like, okay, so like this is potentially an actual live setting.
Yeah, that right away. And that thankfully that was in song too, because right away the second or third spin I put this through, if you even call it spinning them anymore because they're digital. But the second or third spin...
Unless you buy the vinyl. There's plenty of coloration variants.
Yeah, you're right. Vinyl's back. So, I mean, it's spinning. Definitely. But the second or third time
never mind.
No, go. What was it?
I was going to tell you, I turned my breakfast bar into a sound bar with my new Sony sound bar.
Excellent.
Connected to my record player.
That should be the case. Yes. That should be what it is.
Anyway, continue.
No. All I was going to say was, between that backup vocal and also them introducing this one with, this is called The Worst in Me.
Yes.
Like that is what I live for.
Yes.
Like that banter. I know not everybody can be live at the Mark, Tom, and Travis show level stupid. But I mean, there's got to be something there. I mean, there's got to be some banter sometimes, like during the song, before or after, I don't care. Even Metallica during S&M, this beautifully recorded live album. Every once in a while, he's like, "Are you alive?"
Yes.
That's just something I need. So this one, even though the chorus was not as good in my opinion as the verses, I think that I loved this song because of the fact that it did feel more live than some of the other ones, in my opinion. But maybe my uneducated opinion. I don't remember what you said about Never Know, but that is a quote unquote bop, 100%.
Yeah, it's a good one.
A bop, 100%.
Yep.
Verses and choruses seem to blend better than The Worst in Me. So again, this roller coaster that I felt we were on with Bad Omens
was going up.
And I picture being in a roller coaster car with all the fucking characters from the front of their albums, like all the like shrouded figures and the woman that's naked and bent in half. Like, she'd naturally be doing like the Bernie dance down the hill because she's totally limp and keeled over on the cover,
No, she's the hood ornament of the roller coaster.
There you go. So I'm in the front seat with the fucking shrouded figures. And I'm picturing also their demeanor to be like Death from Family Guy.
I envision this in South Park animation.
Or like Death in Family.
Yeah, yep.
Death's character in Family Guy.
Yes.
Like they're all like sound like Norm Macdonald. And the girl's
rest in peace.
The girl occasionally talks and she's like because her face is in her ass.
Yeah.
So anyways, this is kind of that roller coaster for me, right?
Yeah.
Because Never Know is by far my favorite song of this whole album.
I was going to ask what your favorite was.
Straight up.
If I had to guess.
The singing is fantastic.
Well, I'll wait until you get to another song.
Okay.
Keep going.
That doesn't apply? Doesn't apply to this song?
Doesn't apply to this song.
Okay, all right. Yeah, Never Know.
Never Know is your favorite track on the album.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I loved that one. Loved the lyrics. His singing, fantastic. The blending of like verse chorus. I was kind of saying that first. They seem to blend better together. That's another art thing where I don't know if, and you'll hear me say this probably many times throughout the many seasons. I don't know how to define that really always.
Yeah.
Like when a verse and chorus blends together. You know what I mean? And you and I have been part of songs with bands that are like, okay, this is badass. And other times where it's like, I wish we would have had more time before we recorded this song because it sounds like two songs spliced together that just don't flow for me or don't hit for me. And again, I know I'm gatekeeper Brad over here. I'm not saying that I'm a purist in that regard either. It doesn't always have to be, like verse, chorus, end kind of purity. But I think there are certain things that stand out to me where it's similar to like graphic design or anything else where it's like these colors don't work together. And they don't tell the story you're trying to tell. And like things like that.
Rule of thirds.
And exactly. And graphic design, that is like primary versus secondary color, all that stuff. And also what the tone and the concept of color is. In music, and especially in metal songs where there's time signature changes and all kinds of stuff like that, right? I think that they still need to blend a little bit because you have so much free form a lot of times with metal where it's like, okay, now we're going to do a breakdown that, like, again, we'll reference Ronnie Radke again, Watch the World Burn. You got this steady rap track going, and all of a sudden it's just, boom, Watch the World Burn, death metal, double bass, whatever you want to call it.
So good.
Punishing riffs, punishing breakdown, definitely in that song.
Absolutely.
But even being so different, that blends. You know what I mean? That's how Never Know worked. That was what was just missing. For some reason, that's missing in The Worst in Me, for me in this. And it's not because it's live, it's just the song in general. Live or the studio, I'm sure. But Never Know, back on point on the roller coaster, going down an awesome hill or a loop-de-loop. A bop 100% is what I would say.
All right.
Definitely lyrics, his tone. Those two things really did for me.
Yeah.
Careful What You Wish For. Awesome intro. Or interlude, is that what we were calling them?
Yes.
Yeah, more so calling them interludes. Yeah, when I got to Careful What You Wish For, I think that was hauntingly beautiful singing that leads him to say, this is careful what you wish for.
Yes.
Which I appreciate as a purist. That's what I wrote in here. I already self-proclaimed or I don't know, proclaimed myself as a purist many times in this. I don't that again. This is where the roller coaster ends for me because the rest of it, the last three, is what really slams. Careful what you wish for. Memorable lyrics in the same breath, not, I guess, because I don't think of it off the top of my head when I think of this album, and I've listened to this album a lot in the past 4 days to prepare for this.
That's right. You had 4 days.
Yeah, I went apeshit on this for 4 days. Like, I'm talking at least 20 listens by this point.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yep. Yesterday afternoon, doing some client stuff for clients and all that. Doing
Just nonchalant.
You heard it. You heard it here first. Yesterday afternoon while I was doing some clients.
Pause.
This podcast is sponsored by Kroll Media. So while I was doing my clients, I had this on loop for at least 2 hours. So 4 times alone right there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, the funny part is, so, we might have more time to prepare for the next one. I don't know. We wanted to start this up quick and fast and dirty and slower and nastier, but not quite. I didn't get sick of this, and it might be because it was shorter.
Yep.
It might be because you have 7 songs, a couple of them all right, most of them hitting hard.
Yep.
And I just didn't get sick of it. I was like, I could listen to this over and over again. And I'm big on listening to albums front to back, not just because I like live albums, but maybe part of it. I do that for studio recorded albums. I'm a big fan of as well.
Same. Going back to the go ahead. Artistry part of it.
And you're allowed to chime in whenever you want. I don't want to hear myself talk forever.
Yeah,
so go nuts.
No, I haven't been holding back, but in this case, I completely agree with that because originally, when albums were released, the way the media and the format was structured was that the album was an idea as a whole, right?
Yeah.
You either had an idea and it was like a concept album, or you had a whole bunch of songs, like 40 songs, and you picked the top 10, whichever fit into the 40-minute spectrum.
Sure.
And you crammed them onto one release, right?
Yeah.
Which was the idea of the art. And depending on the band, the context, and things of that nature, that brought about what your visuals were.
Yeah, and that's... I to this day do that. And like I said, aside from live albums, I've discovered recently, I listened to, like, for example, when you told me listen to While She Sleeps, I'm listening to the album. I'm not going to pick a song because I don't know what the fuck popular songs there are. I know Spotify helps with that.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't really take advantage of that. The top 5 usually if I'm going to shuffle like the music of a band, if I'm on a long bike ride or something like that, right? And I'm going to hit shuffle on just an artist. It's like I'm expecting that the top 5 are going to pop up pretty quick and maybe 1 or 2 in there that are like, I don't know, whatever. But when you tell me, listen to this band, have you ever heard that band? Have you ever heard this band? Or I know a band I like has come out with something new. It's whole album time for me. It's like watching a movie, and you're not
Speaking of which,
you're gonna watch a movie in reverse order or something like that. So
backwards.
That's the same for me.
Not unless it's a Quentin Tarantino film.
And that especially applies to live albums. But what were you gonna say?
Did I tell you about the band Anna Is Okay?
You didn't, but did I see that on Sirius XM also? Because it's familiar.
I think you'd like them.
Okay. You did. You told me about it.
Did I? Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Yes. Octane cannot take credit for that one. You told me about them. It's Anne Is Okay.
Anne Is Okay.
Like my wife, Anne.
Yeah.
Shout out to Anne.
Yeah. Check out the song Human.
She's 5 feet above me right now. 10 feet above me.
check out the song Human. I think you'd like them.
Okay. I will do that. I'm always open. So careful what you wish for.
Business?
Yeah. My clients know that. I'm going to be doing my clients tomorrow, too.
Boss!
I'm going to be scroll. You don't have to picture anything about that scenario. Just picture me screaming, "Give me your horns!"
Jesus Christ.
This was getting too serious for a while. We needed to fuck it all up.
Yep.
That's what fuck it we'll do. Live is all about. As live as it can get. That's the point. If someone were to flush the toilet, you're going to hear that too.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Not really. That's what microphones of quality are for.
or editing.
And or editing that I will be doing. Not that much. I like it nice and live. But Careful What You Wish For is the end of the roller coaster for me, because then it's just upswing to the end.
Yeah.
Which again, Careful What You Wish For. I did not dislike the song, but it's just that one and The Worst in Me are the two that are just not slamming home for me all the time right away. But they're pretty integral in my opinion and experience, if you will. Then we come to The Limits, right?
Yes.
Probably the most lyrically powerful song on their live album.
Agreed.
And I wouldn't go as far as saying lyrically powerful overall, because I haven't listened to them that much. But on their live album, 110% lyrically the most strong.
Yes.
Especially the chorus. That was and I know this sounds silly of me to say.
That's what slaps.
Yeah, not just what slaps. That was the one with "You're throwing me to the lions," right?
Yep.
That's what I thought. And that's because I'm a Bad Omens virgin.
Throwing me to the lions.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. That's power all the way through in terms of lyrics. The lyrical content is amazing on that one. And it's funny how, now thinking about this, that stuck with me. But I couldn't think of the song title that connects to it. And granted, I'm a Bad Omens virgin, as I was just saying before. But then I'm like, oh, Limits. I noted that I like the lyrics, but was that this one I was thinking of or that one? Obviously. But the lyrics sunk in so well that I didn't forget those. I was
shaking
just like,
my head right now.
I mean, for 4 days, cramming Bad Omens into my ear hole over and over again. Just pause. I didn't feel the need to cry. I was the guy in the recliner. I was actually pretty relaxed while I was blowing my face off, right? Like, I was like, yep.
You're envisioning that. I'm envisioning Sigourney Weaver when the terror dog come through the recliner. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, that's pause. Indeed. So yeah, I love that song. And it's I discovered it's rare I can say this about a live album, but after the first song, which is aggressive and strong, we go down. Okay, I just discovered what this little paragraph I jotted in on the record was. It's me explaining this like discovering a human body.
Ooh, go on.
I rarely say this about a live album. Let's be fucking real. I rarely say this in life. But after the first song, I think it's aggressive. It's aggressive and strong, like a burly chest. Okay? Picture a burly chest. Whatever you're picturing in your head of a burly chest, that's what that is. It's aggressive and strong. Then we go down to a smooth... I can't even say it. Then we make our way down to a smooth midriff before we reach... Before reaching the big swinging nuts that is reaching the big swinging nuts that is the song Dethrone.
Pause.
So let's just no. Okay, we're gonna go back to like NPR level here. You ready? All right. Okay, we're gonna have a moment of silence. This album is like, well, this album starts big and strong and aggressive. Like a big burly chest. With or without hair. It's your choice.
No!
Choose your own adventure. Then we wiggle our way down to a smooth midriff of softness before we land in the big swinging nuts. That is the song Dethrone. Holy hell, this was a jam. That is on the record, quoted, and I don't know what the fuck. It must have been midnight when I was writing that, because wow.
You were delusioned.
I was describing myself in the mirror. Oh, I'm so glad my family listens to this.
Yes.
Dethrone is holy shit. But aside, I mean, obviously, it's an ass kicking, like.
Is this the one that slaps?
Yeah, the one that slaps big time.
Yeah.
Oh no, Mercy slaps.
Oh, Mercy slaps.
Don't worry, it's all right. They both slap.
Yeah,
We're gonna start with this one. This one's slapping against your legs. This is, big swinging nuts, as I called it. But it embodies Zach's clapping like a seal over here. But so Dethrone, aside from that badassery that this album is, it embodies, in my opinion, the creativity I look for in the like heaviest of metal and hard rock or new metal or whatever metal subgenre you can think of. Because it's drummed in a shuffle beat. Like that sort of that shuffle beat that metal bands, I like sometimes they do, but a lot of them stick to 4 on the floor. You know, when you think back to like olden days, like not olden days too bad, but not too far, but like Iron Maiden, they got that galloping drum beat. That's not shuffle. That's just galloping 4/4 time. Yeah. This is a shuffle, and I love this. And it's got rap-esque tone to it in terms of the screaming. That's where I got that. That's where going back to I drew the lineage.
Oh.
Now listen to it again on your drive home tonight. You're gonna hear it. It's got this rap sort of like along with the shuffling. Because it's like, and he's kind of going, well,
that's the syncopation I was talking about.
Yes, exactly. Yep. So it's along the same lines, right? But it just occurred to me as like I'm picturing like his aggression. I'm picturing another R.I.P. DMX singing on a metal song that isn't fucking Five Finger Death Punch, because you know that happened, right?
What?
That was on Octane.
What happened?
Other than the eclipse I was staring at without glasses on. No, I'm just kidding. This song made me want to stare into the eclipse without glasses on. It was Five Finger Death Punch released an album that they, or not an album, but a single that they did with. You can look it up later. Don't do it. Don't sully our good show, because yes, we're gonna have to do their live album eventually. But.
No, we don't.
No, they did. It was before he died. They recorded this. It's more rap track than it is metal, I would say. But with DMX, yes.
They did a thing.
They did a thing. Yep. And I don't know if DMX was super jacked about this or if it was mostly Five Fingers' idea. But that happened. This song, Dethrone, reminds me of Take That Out of Your Mind. Now, I know I poisoned your mind.
Fucked it up already.
Now you need to take that out of your mind. But Dethrone reminds me of as if DMX did like a screaming hard rock heavy metal album or song. That's what I was getting from that. In an art form, if you
could have just said that.
But then you wouldn't have been able to walk down that painful
fucked up the rest
journey.
Of my night.
You wouldn't have to walk on that painful journey of a staircase covered in Legos.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Okay. Anyhow, no, a treadmill covered in Legos. An endless loop of Lego walking. That's what that was.
Raining Legos on the treadmill.
Yeah, so that the guttural screams. I'm not always big on that. Beartooth kind of brought me into that world in terms of like now I love it. You know how he screams and how he sings.
Yes.
But I'm not always like, okay, every song needs to be a screamer, right? We got a screamer. But this one hooked me. I'm about to say the word guttural screams with like a reference to something sexual, as it sounds like. But guttural screams of this mixed with that shuffle beat, that shuffle pattern he's playing, fucking that made it slap. Yeah. But you know what?
What?
Something I didn't like about this song. Just one thing. Just one.
About Dethrone?
About Dethrone. It was perfect. It was perfect from start to 99.99999% finished.
Go on.
I hate this. This goes back to I need the live audience or something like that.
Okay.
Because I hate how this badass jam drops to absolute fucking nothing at the end. Zero crowd noise. It cuts off. Nothing. It's like I didn't get to climax. Did it not? Did you not hear the same thing on yours? Was this a Spotify thing, or was this? Maybe you have to listen to it again on the drive home. But it cuts off at the end. Nothing.
Sure.
It's like something motherfucker. Blah, done. Gone.
Yeah.
Like, not even like an interlude. Just gone. Empty. Like, and then slowly you start hearing the song "Mercy" start.
But maybe that's part of a production, right? Not to say
sure,
right? So I mean, obviously, there's like the artist is there, the art is there.
Yeah,
they've put the work in, and this is what the live album is to a certain degree. But maybe,
sure,
again, being new and also having no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, we kind of do
a little bit.
Isn't that what age brings? Isn't like the fact that we're getting older? Like now we have the experience to bark about things we don't know nothing about.
No.
Oh, wait, you're saying we want to change that dynamic about the world? We don't want to yell about TikTok when we're not on TikTok? Okay, got it. I agree. Anyways.
I know people older than me that are clueless.
Yes, I don't want to be that guy.
Nah. But maybe what we're looking for in this scenario is a live video.
It's probably true.
If we could, would that change for you if we could find the live video for said recording?
I think for this one, yeah. Most of the time, no. Most of the time, I think I talked about it on the pilot episode that I don't want to see it because I want to keep the vision in my head
absolutely.
of what this one, yes. Because
I'm thinking
the audience would have made this so much better in a lot of ways. Not that it's great already.
Well,
It would
sure.
have made it fucking terrific if there was an audience there. But I agree with you. I think with this one, if I saw the video and all these stars aligned and everything made sense and we had a total solar eclipse of totality of bad omens.
Recorded in 2021.
Yeah.
Not 2001. The band was 6 to 7 years old.
Which is not young. I mean, that's
new.
A lot of time.
That's
new
right?
in the great scheme of things,
Yeah.
but not not fresh as baby shit, as I say.
Yeah.
Did I fucking ruin that for you, or what?
No, you keep saying it, and I'm like, my favorite color is green. And in this case,
it's not that kind of green.
In this case, you know, a band being 6 years old, roughly, say, and finally touring big venues across the U.S. in 2020 before everything shut down does not give an audience enough time to say, learn the songs, right? I would say the song Limits, maybe even Dethrone would be a perfect, like, you sing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, I see. Like,
but
demanding crowd banter.
Right. Or like a call response scenario.
Yeah.
Being 6 years old, I don't think that you've got that opportunity.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. And maybe that kind of plays into the whole, like, I thought it was a short album because I thought it was like an opener, like an opening set somewhere that they recorded this.
Yeah, remember this came out, so technically before this, when this was released, not before this was released. When this was released, they only had 2 albums.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But even so, you know, like maybe that might be why I'm thinking of that too, because I thought of this as like some kind of, I guess I would say like opening act. You know what I mean?
Sure.
For somebody where it's like the crowd noise could have been there, should have been there, probably was there. They mixed it out, you know, that sort of kind of thing. I guess you know, like there's something there in my idea of what this probably was that leads me to believe like there had to be a crowd there and maybe they were an opener somewhere and they decided to capture it on audio. But then there's that too, like if you know, depending, there's many different ways you can record a live album. Maybe they did. Maybe it was at a crowd, and they had enough, you know, the directional mics, everything, the venue it was in, all this shit. Maybe it was really easy to remove the crowd noise, and maybe it was requested by them. Maybe they were like, I don't like crowd noise, but we want to get these awesome cuts of these songs because we play live so well, and we're brand new. We're kind of new, you know, man, brand new, but we're newer, like you're saying. So we want to put something out that shows how we play live, almost like they're treating it like local bands, cover bands would, where it's like, here's a demo of 4 songs we played at the county fair that we recorded live from the soundboard. You know what I mean? Like maybe they were treating it like this is a demo of like how they perform. I don't know. It could be anything, right?
Yeah.
But maybe the venue was feasible for them to, maybe it was so low volume, quiet of crowd noise. Maybe the crowd wasn't that, like you were saying, I agree with you now. Maybe, or I see what you're saying now. Maybe the crowd hasn't had enough time to be into them.
Yes.
To be participating, so maybe they weren't going too bonkers and ape shit. I don't know how you couldn't,
right,
with the giant testicle sack swinging around that is Dethrone and not be screaming and yelling and cheering after that. But maybe they weren't. You know, maybe that was what it was. Maybe it's just not great in that regard. So they thought, let's get rid of that noise because it sounds pathetic. It sounds like a few people going woohoo, yay, all right,
right. But let me just take a quick.
I'll move this to you so you can talk into your thing.
Oh, why? Thank you. Let me take a look back. Right, so just a brief reflection on the history, right?
Yeah.
So they, just to kind of put it in full perspective, formed in 2015, right?
Yeah.
Released album number 1. January 16th, 2020. Nope, I lied. Went too far. We've seen too much. They released their first album, I think, in 2016 and Warped Tour 2017.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then in 2019 is when they were going to join Amity Affliction and Senses Fail.
Yeah.
Right? And then from there, they dropped off and then...
Dropped off as in COVID happened?
Dropped off that tour that they were supposed to be on.
Sure.
And then in 2019, they released Never Know.
Sure.
And then the deluxe edition of Finding God Before He Finds Me. And then released Limits in 2020.
Yeah.
So Limits was very new when they recorded this live.
Okay.
And then...
So that was like their new... That's like...
So their big
we got a
tour.
new song for you. It's called Limits.
Yeah, and their big tour. Yeah, Limits was only a year old when this was released.
Okay.
I should say.
Yeah. So you're kind of weighing out right now how many songs they could have possibly
What
had
songs?
on the set
Right.
list anyways.
I mean, had that song been any older, it never would have made the cut.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Or not older, but newer.
Yeah.
And then February and March of 2020, they started a full U.S. headlining tour, which would have been their first, I do believe.
Yeah,
But that's
sure.
the one that got canceled.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
So in every circumstance prior to this, so they released it in 2021. And if they released it in 2021, unless they recorded it in the same instance,
Yeah.
it was an opening slot.
Yeah.
From the notes that I'm seeing here.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
I don't know my own ass from hole in the ground. So,
Hey, you can get a good look at your butcher's ass by sticking your head up a bull's ass.
That was on last night. I was enjoying that.
Oh, I love that movie.
So yeah,
But, I mean, just to look back at it, it just doesn't look like they had enough time really to be
a
as
headliner.
prominent as a headliner.
Yeah.
Even though they had the traction and there were opportunities there, the pandemic shut them down hard and quick. And then,
Sure.
which might have even catered to their latest album that was released in 2022. Maybe it would have come out sooner.
Yeah.
But everything was shut down and they had more time to produce.
Yeah, right.
So, just a couple of thoughts.
No, yeah, I'm like I said, I'm in the dark as much as anybody about not really. Now I've learned some stuff about the band from listening to this crunch time 4 days in a row, a lot of stuff. And luckily, I mean, I liked it. It's going to be a lot harder when it's like, oh shit, we got to listen to a live album for 4 days in a row that is a genre I can't stand or something like that. But that's what it is. That's the point. That's how you discover, like, oh, you know what? New guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Got plenty of those on the list. But so then we finish with the song Mercy, and that's what definitely slaps. But I jotted down, I think lyrically it reminds, I might not be, but it reminds me of being their radio hit. Like lyrically, that sort of thing, right? Because it's what was
You've
the
gotta
lyric? It
listen
was
to the
God
Unplugged
comes
album.
if God were to come down from his home, and like would he say no? You're not coming with. Well, that whole that whole concept at the very least, right?
He would tell us you could go.
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
It seemed very literal compared to their other stuff.
Yes.
That's what the other stuff on this live set. Their other stuff was
the
very
pre-chorus is so good too.
Yeah.
Got a message for the man above, or
exactly
from down
again
below. Yeah,
it slaps. The song is good, but it definitely stuck out to me. It stuck out to me because of the fact that it seemed like it could be a radio hit. It could be their big closer. It's their
All of the
version
above.
of the song Rockstar that just came out by, was it Hardy? Not quite that literal, but
I haven't heard it. I know Hardy,
but it's like a literal-ish. It's a little more in your face, like where it's kind of just to me, yeah. It seems like a radio. It could be a radio hit. Probably was. Again, a little ignorant at this stage in the Bad Omens game, but it's got good parts and parts that just don't do it justice for me. But overall, it was a good song and a good way to end.
absolutely.
Before I got to that one, I thought when I heard Dethrone cut off so hard at the end, where it was just like done, I thought that was it. I thought it was over. Like I didn't think there was another one coming because that was on my first.
And
listen.
the lead into Mercy was fantastic. It
Oh yeah,
reminded me
that's
of,
a good part. Yeah.
Yep. Reminded me of The Warmth by Incubus.
Okay, I can see that.
I
can see
believe
it's got Incubus tones to it.
I believe I read somewhere, again, maybe I'm just off my fucking rocker,
Yeah.
but I believe that was whale noises at the beginning of the
and
warmth.
was that what I'm confusing crowd noise with? Because that's one of the two, Dethrone and Mercy. Those two are the ones that I noted, at least, that I thought I heard shreds of crowd noise. And
You could
I
be
wonder
confusing
if that's,
Mercy with that noise.
You mean the whale noises with human noises?
Yeah.
Well, some humans sound like whales. I don't know.
Yeah, well.
Like, yeah. I'm sorry, folks. I don't know what I just did. I don't know.
Something like that.
But
No,
I thought
so,
that was crowd noise. He's playing to a bunch of fucking white or like sperm whales. On the spot, that's the only one I could think of.
Yeah, they're playing Shiprocked this year.
Yeah. They're playing
In the center of sperm whales.
What the fuck is up, SeaWorld? Steve-O's in the audience chanting back, fuck you.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, that must be what I thought the crowd noise was.
Could be.
Holy shit. I loved this
It was
album.
like this echo. It was like an echo.
Yeah,
and it,
yeah.
it reminded me of The Warmth by Incubus. Whether or not it's actually fucking whale noises is beyond me.
Well, it sounds like it.
It does.
You're right. You hit the nail on the head with that one. It sounded like whale noises to me. But it also evidently sounded like people to me in some way.
Yeah.
So either I'm totally going deaf or I was... What's the thing where you're choosing to believe something is there even though it isn't?
Wait, what?
It's like you're... it's a visual thing. It's not an audio thing. It can be matrixing. That's what you're like. You're pulling something together out of noises or visual because you want to see something there.
Sure.
You want to hear something. It's like in ghost hunting. It's matrixing is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you were listening to a white noise machine and going, tell
That's
me
a
your
whale.
name and what. Yeah, like exactly. Whale noises are like white noise machines.
Yep.
And you're trying to talk to something that, is anybody here that wants to speak with us? You start hearing names or you start hearing whatever in it because you're expecting to hear it there.
Yeah.
I think that's what was happening at that point in the album.
All
because
right.
after 2 or 3 listens, I was expecting to hear crowd noise at some point. I was listening for it. I was like digging deep and trying to figure it out. So before we go into the finale here, the Mandela effect thing I was going to tell you about,
Yes.
which pertains to their album covers.
Okay.
So,
Ooh, this is interesting.
so I'm going to pull open. I know again our listeners. This one is very much so. This kind of pertained to that documentary I always like and reference that had to do with the documentary The Nightmare that has to do with sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis.
And the director had said at one point midway through the doc when someone was saying something similar to this, even though I'm calling it Mandela effect in this case. Because I vividly remember this as a kid, and I guarantee you it never happened. I can't imagine this being on the news, right? Because it was on the news that I thought I saw this. I was probably 7 or 8, somewhere in there. But in that documentary, the director had said something to the effect of, I can't remember what movie it was, but during the opening credits, there's a Shadow Man kind of graphic.
Yep.
And he's like, he connected with. He's like, that's what I've been seeing in my sleep paralysis state, right?
Yep.
I don't think this necessarily was sleep paralysis for me, but I think that I will just keep labeling it Mandela effect. So the cover of Finding God Before God Finds Me.
The deluxe version.
The deluxe version with the shrouded figure, the white shrouded figure. The background's kind of gray. It looks like plastic wrapped.
Almost looks like a halo behind it.
Yep, almost looks like a halo behind it, right?
Or a crown of thorns. Yeah, crown of thorns. That's what it is.
As a kid, I don't know why, but I remember a news story on the local news here in southeastern Wisconsin of a story of a person. It was like a family living in like a trailer home that was actually permanent. Where it's got the siding on it, and stuff like that. It goes to the ground, right? Because I remember these couple
Double
things.
wide.
A double wide. I remember these couple things. I remember a shot of this said trailer, like a rule of thirds angle from the ground looking at it. And then it would always cut to this shot of their hallway, like looking down the hallway directly straight on at this Princess Leia looking ghost figure walking straight at the camera, kind of like sauntering forward, towards the camera.
Okay.
And the news story that I pictured in my head, or that I thought was real when I was a kid that I saw, was that the couple caught this on camera or saw this on camera and proceeded to commit suicide because their house was haunted.
Whoa.
That was 7-year-old me remembering that. I don't remember if this was a dream. I never figured it out. But when you showed me these album covers, that brought me
That's what brought
right
you
back to
back.
that. Because that is what the fuck it looked like. Except she was glowing like neon green. Like, remember in the 90s, you'd get like a toy bouncy ball?
Yes.
And the greenish
Glowed in the
neon
dark.
green that it glue in the dark?
Yes.
Picture her looking like that. Sauntering down a hallway towards you.
Interesting.
Straight at you.
Yeah.
With like Princess Leia hair.
Also weird.
Yeah. Fucking weird. Fucking weird. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with me. So if any of our listeners want to write in and give me a
Or
psychosis,
remember that instance.
so, yeah, or if you remember that, if that actually happened, I'm gonna be even. You know what? Honestly, I'd be more scared because I'd be like, "Wow, that
was newsworthy.
I'd be expecting that that's the day I die. Like if I hear something like that. So on that happy note, what would you change about this album?
Nothing.
Nothing. Not a
Nothing.
thing.
Not
Is
a
it-
thing.
Is nothing. I knew you were gonna say that a little bit. Is it because that we don't really know that much about Bad Omens at this point, or because they're kind of new still? That you there's nothing to change about it?
So it was solidified when I discovered that this could potentially be a double album,
Okay.
right? So you've got this set of tracks,
Yeah.
the live version that we're covering now, and then you've got the unplugged version of
Oh, yeah,
the same
yeah.
songs.
That I will give
Or
a listen to.
Some actually, there might be more songs on that album, the unplugged version.
Okay. But at any rate,
Yeah. So I wouldn't change anything about it because it's perfect.
yeah, I mean, even the stuff, and I have to agree, because even the stuff that I was like roller coaster at the beginning, yeah, but like that's what kind of bring it all back to art discussions. That's what makes
Yep.
it for me a lot of times. It's like, yeah, but nothing's perfect. Like, season 1 of this podcast, one episode was I probably had COVID during it. I was probably coughing more than the last one or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
the point, though. Nothing's perfect. It's live. You know what I mean? And so
I mean, had they released this later, right?
Yeah.
So if for some reason they didn't release a live album and decided that later on that was something they were going to do, it could include songs off of the latest release.
okay, and
And then
yeah,
also,
you're onto my thoughts.
Van with Poppy
Yep.
and things of that nature.
I know this is serious popular right now, Sirius XM popular, but if this came out later, Death of Peace of Mind.
That's what I'm
When
talking
you
about,
told
yeah.
me a live
Yeah.
album came out, before I even looked it up, I thought it was longer than this, and I thought it was like now, like it came out now.
Right.
And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, we're going to hear that song. So I'm a big fan of that one now and stuff. And what was it, Just Pretend? Was that the...
Just Pretend was the track, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was going to have some of the new shit on it. And then I saw, okay, 2021. Okay, it's 7 songs long. Okay, well, maybe it's an opener. And then maybe that was where I had heard it the first time, realized there wasn't much crowd noise, if at all. And I was like, son of a bitch.
But also remember
I
the
was like, this
timeline.
could've- yeah.
Their timeline is constant.
Well, yeah.
Right. It came together in 2015, released self-titled in 2016, Warped Tour 2017. They joined a tour in 2019 and then
Right.
pulled from it. They were going to go on a headlining tour in 2020, but that got kiboshed by COVID.
Yeah.
So 2021 released the live album and unplugged album, and then 2022 Death of Peace of Mind.
Yeah. No, I gotcha. Totally agree. I just... That's I'm walking you through the de-evolution, the de-evolution of my mind when you told me that Bad Omens had a live album. It was
sure.
It was like 6 to midnight, and then it went to about 3 p.m. or so. Where I was like, okay,
yeah.
and then it slowly got back to midnight by the time I got to Dethrone. Because that song I mean, Jesus Christ. That was, and I can only assume that the live one is maybe a little bit more aggressive and raw than the studio one. Now, when I go back and listen to their studio work,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the live album stays more aggressive to kind of, I guess conclude and parlay with that, where you're like, is this something where we would need to look at the live video? And I'm always like, no, suspend disbelief. If it's not a live video of the recording of this album, a lot of times what I'm worried about, like in the case of any band really where I discover their live album first, is will their studio album now fall completely flat on its face? Because the live one's way more aggressive, played a little faster, a little more real,
See,
authentic.
I don't think so. And I only
There's
say
a
that-
lot of live songs that I like better than the studio ones
Sure.
hearing the live ones.
I think they've evolved
Okay.
since.
Yeah.
I think that they released the live album in the right time but I think their sound has evolved to echoing back to David Byrne, right? And just
the
combining
Talking Heads.
different styles and producing and having the ability to pull all of that together and make it different, but also something enjoyable to listen to.
Sure.
Right? I think from what I've picked up from Death of Peace of Mind and that album, I feel like they've not moved away from some of that aggression and some of that in your face guttural stuff.
Yeah, like Dethrone.
Yes, like Dethrone. But I also think they found a way to structure songs so it still has power and effect without having to go there.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, because I think Death of Peace of Mind is a great composition and has power.
Yes.
And has like maybe one scream in it the whole time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or something like that. And also has that real hauntingly beautiful intros and all that, and interludes, if you will, to it that I am privy to as well. So bravo on this one. I would keep it exactly the same as well. Otherwise,
Nice.
it would have to be recorded later on. You know what I mean? That's the only way it could change. Would be, okay, now if they come out with a full feature-length live album with 3 or 4 more songs and more of their new material in addition to this stuff, I'd like to see how that all intermingles. But that's the only way I would be able to change this at all, is if it was done recently. You know, like that sort of thing.
Yes.
Which doesn't make this one not a work of art in and of itself, in my opinion. But to conclude on that, crowd noise, goddamn.
You know, truth be told, I looked at the set list, and after listening to it a few times, if I had to guess, I thought your favorite was going to be Careful What You Wish For.
I like that one better than my least favorite is The Worst in Me.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not because it's bad, just kind of didn't do it for me. But I do like Careful What You Wish For better than that one on the, you know, and yeah, I do. It's the music is what it is. I don't think I jotted that down. What did I? Yeah, the singing, how they introduce it.
Yep.
And I didn't write it down, but I know it's the music. The music, the tone, the guitar tone in it. That's the one. I didn't. That's the only thing I forgot to write down.
The
guitar
cleans in
tone.
this.
Yeah, it's got this creepy, but like, you know how something can be nostalgic even though it's nostalgic for nothing.
Yes.
That's what that little tone that
Yep.
you hear here and there is, and that's the Easter eggs I look for a lot of times in these things. So, well, that was a lot of information for the start of season 2 after 2 damn years. The amount of time between this podcast was too damn high. But yeah, thank
Lordy,
you.
Lordy, I'm 40-40.
Oh, Lordy, that's coming next year, isn't it?
2 years.
2 years.
2
Okay,
years.
all right, 2 years. So when we start season 3, you'll be 4. So I hope y'all enjoyed the one episode of this whole season.
Maybe we'll
Just
even do a
kidding.
live episode.
Oh, like streamed live?
Like
That'd be
in
kinda cool.
person live.
Ooh, to like 4 people that like us. Maybe we'll have 6 by that point. You gotta let it. It's a slow burn.
Yeah, I know.
It's a slow burn. You gotta let it
you
burn.
Collect the flavor on the palate.
Yes, indeed. You swish it around.
Yeah.
It's like the
You're
taste
supposed
test.
to You're supposed to spit out the wine.
All this episode is going to be remembered for is Zach going, "You're supposed to swallow it." All right. On that note, folks, thank you once again for coming back to
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
See ya.